daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin!
And there it is! The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
Well, that first pitch was great. Everything after that from Yoshinobu Yamamoto kind of sucked. Welcome in. It is D.N.D. Doug Russell, Dave Gasper with us, Nick Bruzewitz with us, as well as always, still to come in this hour. Brewers postgame show host Tim Allen will join us. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur live at 11:20 as the Packers get set to take on the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday in the desert. Also, we'll hear Nick Bruzewitz's interview with Chris Brooks as we go deep inside the Wisconsin Badgers in their matchup against the Ohio State Buckeyes. The number, by the way, top ranked.
Yes.
Ohio State Buckeyes, lest we forget. We'll hear from Pat Murphy after last night's 5-1 Game 2 loss to the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. And let's just go around the room, fellas. First of all, I want to start with Dave, and then I'm going to go to Nick because Nick has a different perspective because I want to ask him a very pointed question about his fellow Cubs fans and their response to all of this, but we'll get to that in a moment. Dave, last night, the Brewers get off to a 1-0 lead, as we have seen throughout the course of this postseason for Milwaukee. Just because you score first and score in the first inning doesn't mean that you're going to win the game. But that first pitch, if you would have told me that that was going to be the highlight of the whole night, because credit where credit is due. Yamamoto is a great pitcher, and he showed that again last night. A complete game for the Dodgers right-hander, and now they're up 2-0, and they go back to Chavez Ravine.
Yeah, if you had told me that that's how the game was going to start, at least it's like, okay, the Brewers going to be winning this. I mean, they got some momentum. It felt like in game 1 in the 9th inning, like, okay, you get some runners on, you got some traffic on the bases. You know, if you can just maybe get to that bullpen for the Dodgers, you got yourself a pretty good shot. If you can jump over Yamamoto, not let him, go a complete game, then you're going to be in good shape. And when you send the first pitch out to the Dodgers bullpen for a 1-0 lead, you're feeling pretty good about that. But it just didn't end up coming to fruition. The rest of the lineup was not able to put anything else together. I mean, just 3 hits total on the night. Just really a brutal stretch and an incredible pitcher. I mean, Yamamoto is a really, really good pitcher, had a dominant outing, and Dave Roberts, I think, learned from his mistake in game 1 and said, no, I'm going to send that guy back out there for the 9th. I am not trusting this bullpen. Let him go CG, and he does. So the $182 million man, Blake Snell, goes 8 innings in game 1. The $325 million man, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, goes CG in game 2. And then next up, you've got the $130 million man, Tyler Glasnow, and then the $700 million man, Shohei Ohtani, pitching in game 4. So you've dug yourself quite a hole, but also the Brewers have been able to dig themselves out of holes all season. So I'm not counting them out quite yet. It's going to be it's a tough road to hoe when you go back to Los Angeles. And don't forget the $50 million that the Dodgers had to give Yamamoto's Japanese League team to rest him from that contract that he has in the Japanese League. All right, so anyone could have done it, though. And any team could have paid him.
Well, technically, any team could have.
That's the point.
That's yes, because online, Nick, your fellow Cubs fans are, I don't know if gleeful is the right word. I don't know if ebullient is the right word. Celebratory, perhaps, is the right word. Cubs fans realize they would love to be in the position that the Brewers are in right now, and they lost. So my question to you isn't, are they gloating unnecessarily? Because we all think that most Cubs fans are, a bunch of Jags. Not you.
No, you're good. You're good. You. No, I know where the opinion is, and I get it.
But I think the question then becomes: is this just what sports fans do? Do we do this too? Are we as guilty of this as you as Cubs fans are right now?
I think that there's a level of look in the mirror that would be required here. If Brewers fans are up in arms like Cubs fans were up in arms about the L flag, I do think that had the Cubs won that series, Brewers fans would be actively rooting against them and tweeting about it right now.
Okay.
So
You're
I
probably
do not
right.
think that there is, a difference. Like Cubs fans are more a-hole-ish than Brewers fans would be in this scenario. There probably are, in sheer numbers, more Cubs fans. I mean, let's be honest. It's a much larger market. There are more people. There's a larger base of people to pull from.
I don't think anybody
So there's going to be
argues
a lot
that.
more
Chicago
voices.
is bigger than Milwaukee, yes.
Right. So there's going to be a lot more voices, and the loudest ones get magnified by the other ones. To echo some of that sentiment, that first pitch was great last night. I felt similar in game 1 of the NLDS, right? Michael Busch takes Freddie Peralta deep on the first pitch.
Yeah.
I think.
Fourth
First at bat nonetheless. Yeah. And then everything fell apart. I would be lying to say that last night I was heartbroken. There's this mixture of feelings, of course. I feel for everyone I care about that are Brewers fans, which is most people I know. But additionally, from my perspective, I don't necessarily root for the Brewers to win the World Series after beating my team. I've explained many times, it's been a lot easier had they never played each other in the playoffs for me to rationalize one way or another, to root one way or another. Right now, I'm like anyone but the Dodgers, but I really don't want it to be the Brewers after beating the Cubs. So
right now we're all Mariners fans is what you're saying.
Well, if the Brewers were to bow out, yeah, I mean, immediately I'm jumping on whatever American League team is there.
Okay.
Whatever team.
Yeah, I think that's probably, and the Mariners, I think, are a great story, too, because they've never been to the World Series. They're one of, as we talked about on yesterday's show, one of 5 teams that have never won the World Series. Now, unfortunately, the Brewers are one of those 5 teams as well. And, when we talk about, the Brewers at least have been to the World Series and the Mariners haven't. Yeah, but it was so long ago. You guys weren't born yet. I was 9, for crying out loud. I mean, I wouldn't say that I barely remember, because I do remember it. It was imprinted in my childhood. It's one of those earliest, memories of what made you a sports fan. What is something that made you love the sport. And that 82 team, when you're 9 years old, and you have to remember, this was legions. This is years before social media, years before the internet, years before cell phones. They didn't televise the home games at the time. My family didn't have cable television, and cable television was in its infancy in 1982. So they televised on Channel 18. They televised most of the road games, not all of them, but most of the road games. And otherwise, you'd have to listen to Bob Uecker and Dwayne Mosley call the games on the radio. And on WISN, by the way. WISN radio was the flagship in 1982, famously. One of 2 seasons that they were the flagship. So you'd have to listen to WISN radio that season, and they were really good, but they got out to a bad start. They fired Buck Rogers in early June. Harvey Keene took over, and they caught on like wildfire. But it's just so imprinted that this team is so special. That's why they made a documentary about it last year, for crying out loud. That's why whenever you talk to any of those members of the 82 team, they're like, yeah, but we want some company. Whether it's Jerry Augustine, who obviously is still in town and does media appearances pretty consistently. Robin Yount, who was in town throwing out the first pitch in game 1, but throwing it out to Ryan Braun. These guys, they've carried this torch for so long. They had a parade. The losing team, the World Series, had a parade, a ticker tape parade down Wisconsin Avenue, and it was a mob scene.
Mm-hmm.
There were 5 Hall of Famers on that 82 team. It just seemed like it was just such a missed opportunity. And a lot of it, you can go back to Raleigh Fingers being hurt in the second half of the season. And, they had a lead in game 7 at St. Louis against the Cardinals. And then the Cardinals came back against a depleted Brewers bullpen. It was just right there. And if you would have told a 9-year-old Doug Russell that was the last time that you were going to see the Brewers in the World Series, I would have told you you're crazy, because this just happens all the time. That's why I think it's so much more special when we get, as a collective community, as a collective sports fandom, to this point. And right now it's like, it's just slipping away again. And that's what makes it frustrating.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's an incredibly frustrating start to this, because when you lose the first 2, when you're at home, I mean, the home field advantage that you fought all season for is now out the window in this series, because now more games remain on the road than do potentially at home. You got to win 2 out of 3 in Los Angeles in order to get this series back to Milwaukee. So it's a tough spot to be in. And Murph talked about it a little bit yesterday after the game, just the spot that they put themselves in. But, I do remember the Milwaukee Bucks being down 0-2 to start the 2021 NBA Finals.
Sure.
And what happened? What happened in that series?
Hashtag Bucks and 6.
Hashtag Bucks and 6. They ripped off 4 in a row, including winning on the road there. So it was exactly what they needed to get the job done. And I did see a Brandon Jennings tweet the other day saying Brewers in 6.
There you go.
So Brewers in 6 is still technically a possibility.
So if that were to be the case, right, if the Brewers were to kind of mirror what the Bucks did, it would require them to essentially have the best player in the world. Who's the guy in that Brewers lineup that can elevate to that level? Giannis was and that's the question, right?
Well, the guy who can do it and the guy who has done it, but he hasn't hit a home run in about a month now, is Christian Yelich, and he looks lost with a capital
He's been
L.
really bad.
For his last 17.
Yeah.
And he has one ball to the outfield, right?
Yeah, and that's why I say Churio is the guy, because when the lights shine the brightest, Churio has stepped up. He did it last year. He's done it this year. He is the guy when it is postseason moments, when it is October moments, not only this year, but for the next 8 to 10 years, however long he's under contract. Hopefully he signs another contract extension, but for however long he's playing, he is going to be that guy in those postseason moments.
Yeah.
You just see it. He has the youngest and the second youngest leadoff home runs in the postseason in MLB history.
Right.
I mean, he is someone when you need a moment, when you need a big hit in the playoffs, in the pressure moments, that's Jackson Churio. That is exactly who I want at the plate. It's not Christian Yelich. It's not any of these other veterans.
Not right now.
Certainly not right now. But even in previous postseasons, Christian Yelich hasn't exactly done a ton.
And Shohei's been awful this postseason too. I mean, so star players, and for a while, Christian Yelich I wouldn't call him an MVP candidate, but for a while this past season, he looked like, okay, he's got the power stroke back. He's hitting for average again. He's hitting to the opposite field again. Right now, there's just this loop in his swing, and pitchers are exploiting it because the book has been out. He's a veteran. He's been playing Major League Baseball for 12 years now. So, pitchers know what to exploit. So, I mean, it's disappointing, and you're searching for whatever you can do to get him going because they need him. As far as Jackson Churio, I don't want to know what he's going to be demanding on the open market in 6 years. I mean, that makes it just sends a chill down my spine, but we're also heading toward a potential protracted labor stoppage. But then again, we've said that for years and years, and it just hasn't happened. I think there were so many lessons from 1994 and the cancellation of the World Series that nobody wants to broach that again, even though we've come to the brink a couple of times, but nothing catastrophic like the World Series being canceled has happened since then, even though there have been threats. In 2002, I remember that was one of the threads of the All-Star game. It was one of the main storylines of the All-Star game when it was here in Milwaukee. It was, is there going to be a protracted labor situation at the end of the year? And it didn't turn out to be the case. All right. The NicoletLaw.com talking text line is open to you at 877-794-1973. We've got some texts coming in. We will read your texts as we continue on. I do want to hear from Pat Murphy, Brewers manager, in case you missed it after last night's game, in case you checked out after last night's game and didn't want to hear necessarily in the moment what the Brewers manager had to say after going down 2-0 to the Los Angeles Dodgers and their $350 million payroll. I don't know that he mentioned the $350 million payroll. I just think that it deserves mentioning, the $350 million payroll. Here's Brewers manager Pat Murphy after last night's ball game.
Hold on one second.
Okay, we're holding on 1 second here as Dave gets that queued up on the other side.
He was speechless. The performance left the manager speechless.
I think you're right, Nick.
He had to gather his thoughts for a matter of moments before addressing the media. He was trying to remember all the names of all the people he met.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Got to meet all the new people.
See, now that would be something if he would then, after the game, be able to recite the names of everyone that he met in the pregame.
Yeah, or he might just make another reporter, stand up and twirl and show off his outfit. But we'll tell that story after we get to Pat Murphy's actual comments.
I feel like there's a story here. All right, here's Pat Murphy after the game.
or just the way Snell and then Yamamoto have been able to be in complete control and kind of dictate the at-bats through the duration of the game. What have you seen specifically tonight?
I mean, they were both great. You know, both those pitchers were as dominant as two pitchers have been. You know, we chased way more than we've chased all year. We've been the best in baseball at not chasing. These pitchers brought out the worst in us. Yeah, if I would have told you that the Dodgers are going to score 7 runs in 2 games and what was the outcome in the first 2 games, I'd say there's a chance we won one of them for sure. You know, our pitching is beat up. You know that. I mean, it was the emotional series with the Cubs, and then our pitching's been – so we weren't as sharp, but I thought Freddie pitched well. And, you know, I thought Ashby came in and did a great job. Gasser came in and did a great job. Anderson came in and did a great job. So we had some good performances, but offensively, you've got to grind out at bats, and that's what been our forte. The ball strike has been really at the core of our offensive success, and sometimes great pitching brings out the worst in you.
A few more from Murph. Right up in the front, and then go back to Kurt.
Next. Did Freddie have to convince you to stay for the 6th? So, and was that a tough decision?
No. He was throwing the ball great. You know, he gave up 1 pitch in the 6th. He gave up a homer to Muncy on a 3-2 pitch, missed his spot. But I mean, Muncy's got the most home runs in Dodger history in the postseason. So, you know, he's a very talented guy that's seen Freddie a bunch. But yeah, that wasn't the difference in the game. He went out there and did the job.
Anthony.
What is your pitching plan now for Game 3, whether it's Quintana or otherwise? And more generally, after having used as many guys as you've had to, you know, how do you feel about your staff overall?
I mean, it's like anything else. You know, like if you're trying to go for it and win it all, because it's a 3-run game or a 4-run game, you're still trying to win. You know what I mean? So anything can happen. So we use 6 guys. And we used a lot of guys in a 5-game series against the Cubs. So we're more depleted than the Dodgers are, but none of that matters. It's about playing whenever we play them Thursday. It was about playing Thursday. Everybody will be available with the exception of Freddie, and we'll attack him. Yeah. Most likely he's going to pitch, but I don't know who's the bulk yet. We'll see. We've got some options there.
Jared.
Given the way postseason baseball has been played in recent years, how surprising was it to you to see 2 starters pitching in the 8th and 9th inning of playoff games 2 days in a row? And what does that sort of mean for the rest of the series?
That's a good question. When they're that good, you know, it is surprising, but they're that good, you know, and they were dominant. Both guys were dominant for 17 innings. So hats off to those 2 guys. They deserve all the credit. They really do. They deserve all the credit. And that catcher, Smith, deserves a ton of credit because he was right with them, in tune in the game, and they're very impressive. For those 17 innings were as good as I've seen. So the one thing is you guys might have us counted out, and I understand that. 90% of the teams that have been in this situation don't win the series. This team has been counted out a lot this year, and I think there's some fight left in them, and it'll be a little tougher path, right, doing it on the road. But we swept the Dodgers early in the year on the road, and so at least there's some capability. I know the Dodgers weren't the same team then, but, you know, 10 times this year we've won 4 in a row, so that's also a possibility. I still like our team. I know that, you know, we didn't swing the bat the last 2 days, but I don't think a lot of teams would have crushed those 2 guys the last 2 days, but yeah, we could do better.
Snell obviously went heavy on the changeups yesterday, and then Yamamoto, he's got a deep mix, but you know, a lot of the off speed kind of hiding the fastball to a degree. Do you feel like that's a concerted effort from them to counter the aggressiveness that you guys typically have on fastballs in the zone?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is the quality of the off speed. You know, this guy's split looks like a heater. Comes out of the same tunnel. It looks exactly the same. He's got an impeccable delivery, so he doesn't miss a lot. And the ball shows up as a heater, bang, goes down. And his heater shows up as a heater and then rises. So it's pretty impressive. But you have to battle, foul off pitches, run his pitch count, do whatever they have to do. And it's been put in our face now for 2 days. 2 great performances, but that doesn't mean the series is over.
Murph will take one more on the left.
Yeah, sure.
Murph, when Jackson takes out the first pitch, you got to think that there's something good that the building's live. How quickly did it feel like that came back down, though? And was that a part of it that Yamamoto just kind of got right back to business and took it out
it's
of
funny?
it?
I'd like to do a study. I have no idea what the answer is, but in my experience, when you lead off with a home run in the game, it doesn't ensure anything. You know what I mean? I bet you the record isn't as good. I mean, the Cubs did it to us how many times? Twice? And lost both those games? Or did they win one of them? I bet you I'd be willing to say that it can be kind of a curse. You know what I mean? Not that anybody wouldn't take it, but I think, the building was live. The crowd was great. The last 2 days, our crowd's great. They're disappointed. You know, they think it's over probably. 90% of the teams that are 0-2 at home don't come back, but I don't think it's over. I don't know why. I admire this team. I've said it all along. I like who they are. I know where they came from, and I don't think they'll be surprised if they come back and play really well.
Kurt, I have one more quick one.
Murph with Yelich, I think he's 0 for his last 17 now since Game 3. What do you got to do to get him going again with how important he is to the whole unit?
Yelly's a 12-year veteran. He knows how to play this game. He's getting pitched really, really tough. They're very aware of his abilities. Hit 29 homers this year. Drove in over 100 runs. That's a really small sample size. I know it's critical because it's now, but I'm not worried that Yelly won't respond.
And that goes back to the difference again between the Dodgers and the Brewers in this sense. If Shohei Ohtani has the same kind of postseason that Christian Yelich is having, and they are having similar postseasons right now, if you look at the numbers, the Dodgers still have Mookie Betts. They still have Freddie Freeman. They still have Teoscar Hernandez. They still have Kike Hernandez. I mean, it's just one after another. They still have Max Muncy.
Yeah, Will Smith.
They still have Will Smith. Absolutely. I mean, the Brewers do have some boppers in their lineup. Jackson Chourio mentioned. Well, Jake Bauers has come up with some big hits.
Yeah.
I mean,
not necessarily in the lineup per se.
Right.
Yeah,
but
he's not quite Freddie Freeman.
Right. But when you list the number of, just look at the Hall of Famers that the Dodgers have in their lineup right now.
Like if you asked me to list the top 20 players in this series overall, 20 players, pitcher, hitter, name player. I mean, I think you're probably going 15-5, probably Dodgers to Brewers.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Mookie Betts, probably a Hall of Famer. You got Freddie Freeman,
definitely,
probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani, a Hall of Famer. I know he's not even playing, but Clayton Kershaw, Hall of Famer. He's still hanging around.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there are other guys who have an opportunity to become Hall of Famers that are in that.
Blake Snell, 2-time Cy Young winner.
He's probably great example. Probably he's putting himself in that conversation. Absolutely, without question. So, I mean, sometimes I go back and I talk about those 82 Brewers like I was doing a few minutes ago, and they had 5 Hall of Famers on that team. Sutton, Yount, Molitor, Simmons, and
Fingers.
Thank you. So, I mean, that's pretty formidable when you've got that many guys who are going to wind up in Cooperstown, because less than 1%, far less than 1% of the baseball players that ever step foot on a major league diamond ever wind up in Cooperstown. And the Dodgers have just a bevy of them right now. Well, it's hard to overcome.
And when you look at the postseason as a whole, I mean, across the board, the 4 teams remaining, I mean, how many Hall of Famers are there? Scherzer for the Blue Jays. I don't know if there's anyone else.
And nothing that Scherzer's doing right now is putting him in.
Right.
He's already there.
They carved his
there.
plaque years and years ago.
Right. And Kershaw's kind of in the same spot.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Coming up in about 10, 12 minutes or so, we'll check in with Brewers postgame host Tim Allen. The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line is open to you at 877-794-1973. We'll continue taking your texts and calls on the Brewers. Also, Teoscar Hernandez, a fun story, and maybe something that plays into what baseball players have been known for a long time. And stand up and twirl, baby. We'll find out what that's all about coming up straight ahead. It's Doug Russell, Nick Bruzowitz, Dave Gasper, D.N.D. on the game.
Keep your head down, keep on the blinders, tune out the doubters and all the closed minders. If it's in your blood, falling down ain't enough to change who you were born to be. Getting back up, that's the only backup plan you need.
Fox on Tech. Apple has new iPhones and other things for you. The Cupertino, California tech giant held its yearly product reveal and promised the world and its devoted customer base it wants to keep to ethos set by its late founder, Steve Jobs, that usable tech must look good, feel good, and work well.
For us, design goes beyond just how something looks or feels. Design is also how it works. This philosophy guides everything we do.
Apple CEO Tim Cook during the presentation, which debuted iPhone 17, along with a Pro and Pro Max version, as well as a super thin first-of-its-kind iPhone Air, no thicker than a few credit cards. Improved Apple Watches, including Ultra 3 with satellite connectivity, and AirPods Pro 3 with live translations, allowing wearers to speak with one another in differing languages. You can order your new Apple stuff today. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News. Fox on Tech. What did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for U.S. users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman in D.C. making the case that artificial intelligence is already making Americans more productive and that it's essential to democratize it by getting the technology in as many hands as possible. To do that, Altman joined Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision Michelle Bowman to talk about the impact of AI on banks and businesses. Altman making the argument that it's not all doom and gloom, but rather that AI will create new jobs that we don't even understand yet.
There are cases where entire classes of jobs will go away. There are entirely new classes of jobs that will come. And largely, I think this will look somewhat like most of history in that the tools people have to use their jobs will let them do more.
OpenAI telling Fox Business they will be opening an office called The Workshop next year in D.C., their first office there. The goal is to expose lawmakers and government teams to artificial intelligence. With Fox on Tech, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Fox on Tech. Google is bringing about more AI to more people around the world. U.S.-based users of Google's search engine have been seeing a transition to AI mode for their web searching. Instead of lists of websites that may or may not have much to do with your search query, you've been given comprehensive answers, explanations, or steps to take with sources cited. Google is now rolling out AI mode to more people around the world as it begins to deploy and integrate more agentic artificial intelligence features. In what Google hopes will be the near future, Google won't just find you a restaurant, it will book reservations on your behalf. It will also rely on your Google history to make decisions for you, or at least present you with options you'd like. Agentic, meaning agent-like features, will be part of Google AI's Ultra tier, a service costing subscribers $250 a month. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Photo editing used to be the work of highly specialized artists and technicians. Cropping and burning, overexposing and underexposing all occurred in darkrooms using physical means. Nowadays, we click and drag a mouse, or we might even tap, squeeze, or select. As photo editing apps become both more advanced and more accessible to more people, not just photography professionals. But what if you could edit your photo just by asking? Google has that now. Unveiled Wednesday at their Made by Google event, Google Photos will now have a feature in which the user can simply ask the app to perform a desired edit of their image. They can ask by voice or even by typing the request into the prompt. And yes, it's powered by Google's Gemini AI. And no, you don't need a working knowledge of photo terms or techniques. Edit by Asking is debuting across the Pixel 10 series of smartphones. With Fox on Tech, I'm Evan Brown, Fox News.
Join us Saturday. The Badgers and Buckeyes square off in Madison. Our coverage begins at 12:30.
Now we'll get rolling.
Wisconsin football.
Mike Heller's pregame show starts at 12:30. Kickoff at 2:30 on 95.7 Big FM.
Like we always do with this time, I go for mine. I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
D.N.D. rocks on. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper on this Wednesday, October 15th. The Brewers 5-1 losers last night in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, complete game, 3-hit. Well, the first pitch, if it weren't for the first pitch of the game, it would have been a shutout. He struck out 7, walked only 1, commanded his stuff, and put the Brewers in a hole. And whether or not they can dig themselves out of, well, at the end of the day, only they will be able to decide whether or not they can do that.
Some of my best performances as an athlete came in similar type games, right? I mean, I was a varsity goalie on my soccer team in high school, all conference honor.
Okay, all right.
Brag.
Way to go out. Yeah. Way to go out. Did you ever
of the 8 teams
score
in
4
my
touchdowns
conference,
in a game like Al Bundy did for Polk High? I'm sorry, go on.
I did not. But let me tell you, I mean, when you get punched in the mouth early, like you give up an early goal, a lot of my best performances were games at which Ripon, my squad, lost 1-0 because my team could not score. But I would answer immediately after giving up a goal. I mean, you get punched in the mouth early. It increases your adrenaline. It locks you in, and it appears it worked for Yamamoto last night. It worked for Freddie Peralta in Game 1 of the NLDS against the Cubs when he gave up the early bomb to Michael Busch.
Worked for Mizorowski, too, when he first came in.
There you go. I mean, there's something to be said about that. I mean, you don't root for that. I mean, there's a reason why the first inning ERA is higher than any other inning. I mean, these guys come in, they have to, get into a rhythm. They have to work up a sweat. They have to get into the groove. But last night, you just watched what I felt was in any other series in the postseason, the best start you would have seen. And instead, It's now the second best postseason start, in my opinion, in this year's playoffs. So you do it back-to-back days. Dodgers are incredible right now. It's just unfortunate.
Absolutely. Waiting in the wings, we've got Tim Allen from the Brewers post-game show. We'll hit him coming up in just a couple moments. Greg is in Waukesha on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Doug. Hey, first of all, very sorry for the loss of the game in Milwaukee. I really missed the station, and
so do we.
Built something really special. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Listen, I don't like the salary cap in baseball.
Well, it's good because they don't have one.
Well, I mean, how many teams can spend millions of dollars, I guess, on acquiring? I hope that the Brewers can win this, but I have a feeling this is going to be a major market team, winning out over a small market, team like Milwaukee. I've little to no faith that the Brewers can come back. We just don't have the pitching that Los Angeles does. I just am not confident in. But, I mean, regardless, it's been a good run. 97 wins was a good season. But, the other thing I look at, guys, is as Wisconsinites, we're used to one and done. We're used to two and done. We have had very few experiences with,
And this goes to the fact that the number one seed means nothing, as we've seen. the last two championships that the state has won. The Packers in 2010, they were the number 6 seed. The Bucks were the number 3 seed in 2021 when they won the NBA championship. The Brewers have been the number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed in 2018. Didn't work out for them. The Packers have been the number 1 seed a few times, and it hasn't worked out for them. Just because you're the number 1 seed, it doesn't mean anything. The Bucks have been the number 1 seed a bunch of times and gotten bounced early in the playoffs too. So regular season success feels good going into the playoffs, but it doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to wind up with the brass ring. All right, coming up next. Thanks for the call, Greg. Appreciate it, and appreciate the kind thoughts about the game in Milwaukee as well. We're still on the game in Madison on 1070 The Game, as well as throughout the states and on the streamers, if you will. We're on Facebook, of course. We're on Twitter. We are, or X if you prefer, whichever. We're also on YouTube as well. Glad you have found us. I know it takes maybe a little bit more of an effort to find us. That does not go unnoticed by us, and you have our eternal gratitude for that. All right, it's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave. Tim Allen coming up straight ahead. Stay with us on the game.
It's Fox Wheels.
After an incentive-fueled surge in Q2, car buying traffic declined in Q3, along with dealer profitability when new vehicle inventory rose sharply, with overall new car market prices trending up to about $50,000 into September. Used car prices also seeing gains. There has been increased interest in EVs for now. That ahead of the expiration of federal tax credits by the end of September. The Trump administration is making it easier for autonomous vehicle technology companies like Tesla and Waymo to move ahead with their advanced robotaxi systems, removing some requirements that are meant for human-controlled vehicles. The Department of Transportation and Highway Traffic Safety Administration now proposing some new rules aimed at relaxing mandates that make it hard for cars without manual controls like brake pedals, steering wheels, and gear shift levers to take the roads. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1971.
The Doors released their 6th and final studio album, L.A. Woman, while Paul McCartney releases his 2nd solo album, Ram, which goes to number 1 UK and number 2 US. The album includes several jibes at John Lennon and the number 1 single, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. In May of 71, soul singer Marvin Gaye releases his concept album What's Going On and has 3 top 10 singles. And Rod Stewart's 3rd solo album goes number 1 and has a number 1 single, Maggie May.
Maggie, I wish I'd never seen your face.
In July of 71, The Who releases Who's Next. It tops the charts in the UK and goes to number 4 in the US.
Teenage wasteland, oh yeah. Teenage wasteland.
The Allman Brothers released their breakthrough live double album at Fillmore East. And in August, the concert for Bangladesh, organized by George Harrison and Ravi Shankar, is held in New York City. In addition to the organizers, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Badfinger, Leon Russell, and Billy Preston appear.
Feel my guitar gently.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1974.
For the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first number 1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, Get a New Drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to number 5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
Keep Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
Hey there, people. This is Mark Maron, and I host the podcast WTF with Mark Maron, which is available on iHeartRadio. Honestly, I think we could all listen to each other a little bit more, and I think it's a healthy thing. I listen to all sorts of people, comedians, actors, musicians, directors, writers, even a president. They come into my garage, and we have a conversation about all the big stuff in life. Go check it out, WTF with Mark Maron, right here on iHeartRadio.
D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave on this Wednesday, October 15th. The Brewers fall to the Dodgers last night, 5-1. But when you hear Stranglehold, no, by the way, I don't know if you ever wanted a new theme song, but, you could take it on the run anytime you want.
Yeah.
As
There
he's
you go.
strumming the guitar down the line.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, host of the Brewers post-game show, joining us here on the Game Radio Network. Tim,
It's been discussed though, Doug.
Oh, really?
Changing the theme song. Yeah, it was. When I came over with you guys here in 22, our boss, Tim Scott, he had said, "Hey, what do you think about new station, new identity?" And valid thought. I mean, and I thought,
yeah,
I don't disagree with Red Hot too much on things, but yeah, no.
We're thinking Taylor Swift this next time around.
maybe, maybe, yes.
No, it's
Chuck
I would
Mangione.
say it has become ubiquitous with Tim Allen and the baseball postgame show to just have.
I think so.
Yeah,
I can't hear it in any other context and not immediately think of the baseball postgame.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with Red Hot on this one.
No, I mean it was something. I mean it had some merit to it that hey, new station, new identity, and we'll start something fresh. And we just both decided that. Hey, let's fall into the pocket of Stranglehold. It's funny, you're out at a club or something, or a bar. I don't club, but a bar.
I don't believe you.
And
not buying it.
jukebox, they'll go from Foreigner to Heart to REO, and then Stranglehold to come on. It's like, whoa, wait, what?
I know. Yep.
Like
we do Dave Gasper's top of the hour updates, and it's basically the same update that I used for a few months on the midday No BS show.
Okay.
And there's still like a Pavlovian response to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what am I doing here?
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I don't have anything prepared. I don't know.
Yeah. So I get it, but yeah, you gotta. I would again, just one guy's opinion. I think you need to keep Stranglehold. That's why I keep the Packers music. They don't let us do it in the Packers network show anymore because there's some contractual things going on with that. But for
did something
any
happen?
local radio show that I can do with Packers, the old da-da-da, da-da-da, it's got a name for it. I don't know what it is, but I'm trotting that sucker out. So just is what it is. All right. So the Brewers lose last night. Yamamoto was spectacular. Snell spectacular the night before. Tim, how we get these bats going?
Yeah, wouldn't you know it? I mean, it's such a rarity to have guys go that kind of length in a postseason game. I mean, it's just such a rarity. So maybe a little bad luck there or bad timing. I heard Grindle on the Brewers radio network and Levering talking about, we play against the Dodgers earlier and a few months ago, and everyone's talking about, are the Dodgers really the Dodgers? And all their starting pitchers are hurt. And then Grindle says, man, all of a sudden October comes around and everyone seems to be healthy. And maybe there's a point there, but hey, gamesmanship, do it the way you want. You can do it. One of the things, Doug, guys, that I didn't want to get into. I allowed one caller last night on the post-game show to be a little bit more expanded on it. I just don't want to get into the money thing right now because I will when the series is done, win, lose, or draw. But the money disparity between the two, I'm just trying to avoid that because it is what it is right now. You can't change it. You can't.
Right.
It's not really productive to even go there now at the end of the year and certainly into the collective bargaining agreement. There's going to be a lot of words spoken about that.
No doubt, Tim. I brought that up yesterday when we were talking about game one. It's not over yet, right? And we can still talk about this when the season's over if that happens. a win, lose, or draw, as you
Yeah.
highlighted. What's the most frustrating part of what you've seen so far from the Brewers in this series?
It's really not the pitching, guys. And I know a lot of people had given Freddie a little flack. I gave him flack for one pitch, and that was the pitch to Muncy. Full count there. Hey, just stay alive to pitch to another hitter, or Murph makes the move right there. 3-2 fastball, bases empty, 2 out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was trying to unload the tank. I get it, but we had to be smart here. I just don't like that pitch selection. But pitching overall, Nick, has been there. The defense has been there. Base running, it could use a little something.
It could use base runners.
It actually could, yeah.
Use some traffic, yeah.
That would be nice.
In order to do some nice base running, you have to have base runners. Yes.
Amazing. I'm going to write that down.
It's clearly
Is that
the
that new
offense.
cliche. Yeah.
I mean, and this isn't anything new in this series. It's I look at it glass half full, as I oftentimes do, and that is they've lost 4 of 5 playoff games. Damn, they're lucky to even be still alive when you lose 4 or 5 playoff games.
Yeah.
But they've done that across 2 different series. And in those 5 games, you got the 1 win, obviously, but you've got only 9 runs. And that's where, to answer Nick's question, that's where the problem is. Are you running into buzzsaws a little bit? Yes. That worm's going to turn. You just assume Glass now can't do it too, can he? I mean, can he go 7 or 8? I don't know. The odds are against it, but who knows? It's crazy in baseball. And then finally, with a win on Thursday, tomorrow, the pressure does go back to the Dodgers a little bit. Think about that. I mean, that was the series they were in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We're up 2-0, and then all of a sudden, it's 2-1, fine, we're good, but they win this game and the series is even. Tomorrow's pivotal. It is, and it puts pressure on the Dodgers.
Yeah, it does. And Timmy, I got a question here on the Nikolay Lodicom talking text line, 877-794-1973, unnamed in the 414. Said, can someone ask the franchise if this team is spent emotionally? Was at the game yesterday and could feel the lack of urgency and fight in the ballpark. Now, I'm not going to say that the team has any sort of lack of urgency or lack of fight, but do you think that with maybe the short turnaround from the NLDS, the emotions of that series maybe was a bit of a hangover, maybe a little bit of an
literally or
emotional
figuratively.
Right.
But a bit of an emotional hangover from that series to the start of this one?
It's a good question, and it could be one of 2 things. So it could be one that it was high stress, high excitement, big time energy, exhausted all, and you're kind of spent. It could be that. Or the other side, and I seem to play on this side, it was such a relief to get through it that you didn't realize that, hey, you got to jack this thing up again, guys. You were so relieved, and it was such a stress reliever that it was almost too mellow heading into this NLCS. So I tend to believe it was more of a breathe a heavy sigh. Oh, we did it. We got through it. And instead of, man, am I beat? We just worked our asses off.
Yeah.
I think it's more of just they didn't ratchet back up right away.
Well, this is a franchise in its history, not you, the franchise, Tim Allen, but this Brewers franchise in its 56 seasons, they won 4 postseason series of all time. I mean, I think that one of the things that I observed in the clubhouse celebration after winning Game 5 against the Cubs.
Well, you've been at all of them in the past decade or more.
Yeah. Going back to 2008. Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I observed was it just seemed like it was a little bit, when you brought up the word relief, that kind of resonated with me because it just seemed like it was a relief. There wasn't the over-the-top celebration that we've seen in the past. I mean, the champagne was flowing. Yes, it was. The champagne was being sprayed. I looked at it. It was almost kind of a little bit demure compared to years past. I mean, there wasn't a dog pile on the field or anything like that. Yes, there was still more celebrations to be had, and everybody was happy, and everybody was happy that they beat the Cubs. But it just seemed as though
Yes.
And then they had to get back at it right the next day with a workout.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's where it sat. Now, maybe they ratchet things back up just in time. I may have fallen victim to that too. Maybe not necessarily on the air, but off the air, I may have fallen into that. Whatever happens with the Dodgers, it happens with the Dodgers, but you better win this, this
right.
Cub thing.
Yes.
And I may have fallen into that myself. And I think that's a natural thing, but you're this close, guys. And maybe that was a mistake on my part, but I can't control my emotions. They just go. But maybe the team did it to a degree, and it's so hard to really measure where they're at as a team. I mean, you talk to some of these players and managers, and let's say, well, looks can be deceiving. It's not like they're not trying out there or anything like that, but just overall big picture, maybe it was, being spent, or just this, okay, we're done with that. Now we're all good.
Tim, do you potentially try and put Christian Yelich in left field to shake this rust, shake what's ever wrong with him? I mean, left field hasn't necessarily been set in stone throughout the postseason, and he has been playing very poorly as a designated hitter.
But, well, that would be in an effort to get Vaughn, Bowers, and Yelich into the same lineup. They did that by putting Bowers out there. But now to Christian Yelich, to that point, to get him going, if you're talking about getting him going, I'd like to try it, because it's been tough watching him. Guys, we've seen Christian Yelich struggle before. And what happens when he struggles? He looks different at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
At times he looks lost. The rollovers aren't even hard. They're not even barreled. They're little rollovers. And then there's little duffers about 10, 15 feet in front of the plate.
Yep.
Not a good sign right now. It's not a good sign for him, because we've seen it before. And Hunter brought it up last night on the postgame show that, he's just speculating and he's not reporting anything or anything like that. So I'll disclaim it with that. But is the back okay? And has anybody asked specifically, is your back good?
Yeah, it's a great point. Great observation. I don't think anyone has asked him that question. But the Brewers,
Dave, I'm sorry. To answer Nick's point, to get Yelly going, I think I'd like to try it. Put him out there in left field. See if he gets more in tune, more engaged.
Yeah, whatever you got to do to get that back going, because we've also seen when he's right, he can carry a team by himself. And I don't know that he necessarily has to do that, especially with the way that Churio's been swinging the bat. But
Danny Jansen. Come on now.
Yeah. Some Danny Jansen magic.
Come on.
Brandon Lockridge.
Right.
Let's go.
So game 3 is tomorrow, Tim. We will expect a win out of you.
Yeah, no doubt. And right here on these stations, you can hear a special edition of Playoff Push today at 5.
Love it. There he goes. The franchise, Tim Allen, joining us here.
See you guys
on D.N.D. Again, catch him starting at 5 o'clock right here on 1070 The Game in Madison, also on 920 in Milwaukee as well. The Brewers post-game show host Tim Allen has been with this team for over 20 years now. This is celebrated its 20th year famously this year. All right. Still to come, Dave Gasper coming up straight ahead. We'll also hear from Matt LaFleur coming up live in the next hour as well. It's D&D on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1967.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the US as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the US album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1967, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the number 1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to number 1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fears. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1975, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1973. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
You know, we initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, you know, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, you know, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, you know, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, you know, good audience, and the WOMAD Festival, you know, is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Playing Milwaukee's #1 sports station.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
Now streaming.
Heard worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Crab Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
All right, well, the Brewers game got off to a great start.
Season. And on the first pitch, Jackson Churio sends one into deep right, and that one's going to fly out
are here. Churio with a home run to start it offensively for the Brewers.
And the game ended right there, and everyone went home happy.
Yeah. You know what? If you would have told the crowd that, you know what, you have a choice. Everybody can get up and leave now because the game is now over and you don't get to see any more baseball and you win, or you can take your chances with everything else that, could transpire over the course of the next 9 innings. If you wouldn't take, all right, I'm just going to hand over, and I have been entertained for the night. I came for one swing. It's like a Mike Tyson, 10-second knockout punch back in the day. Which happened. I mean, you knock guys out in the first round, and then everybody
pay $1,000 for a ticket, and then I think 10 seconds of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see the undercard, I suppose, which would have been the top of the first inning. I think everyone should be able to look in the mirror and say, yes, I would take that deal.
Take the win. Take the guaranteed win in the books.
No doubt you would take the win. And to your point, I think Jorge Masvidal, a UFC fighter, once knocked out Ben Askren in the first 2 seconds. It was a running knee right to the face.
Just right as they're starting coming at you.
Right as they started.
Down he goes.
Speaking of Ben Askren, how's he doing, by the way?
He double lung transplant. He's alive. He's recovering by the grace of God. He is still with us. But
love that.
Yeah, that was a quite the situation. And a lot of folks, that aren't billionaires, that's an exaggeration, aren't millionaires, that don't have the public support go through to it.
Yeah.
So credit to the medical advancements of today's society that you can do a double lung transplant. But yeah, first inning, you know what, guys? You fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, still shame. It's just a lot of shame on you to get fooled that early, because I felt that in the Brewers Cubs series 2 times.
Yeah, Pat Murphy talked about it a little bit in the post game because Brewers go on to lose 5-1. So they're down 0-2 in the series, but don't count this team out.
90% of the teams that are 0-2 at home don't come back, but I don't think it's over. I don't know why. I admire this team. I've said it all along. I like who they are. I know where they came from, and I don't think they'll be surprised if they come back and play really well.
I love Murph here. So, yes, it's not over. But the first thing is this, 90% of the teams that are in this position losing the first 2 at home, they don't get out of this thing alive. And then he said, but, you never know.
Yeah. Never tell me the odds.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. The Brewers have been beating the odds all season, really. I mean, what were the odds that this team would have the best record in baseball? It's never happened before in 56 years. Yeah, what were the odds of a 14-game winning streak? What were the odds of all
before.
This?
There's a lot of things that we saw this year that had never happened before.
Exactly,
Most
including an 8-6-2 grounded into double play.
Famously. We have seen an 8-6-2 double play, just not grounded into a double play. With a ball that never hit the ground, ironically, as you brought up, which was absolutely true. So, you saw the 14-game winning streak. That's never happened before. You saw 3 winning streaks of 8 or more. That's never happened before. You saw 97 wins. That's a franchise record. The Brewers had never led Major League Baseball in wins ever before. There's a lot of positives that you can take away from this team, but right now they're in it. And, they need to solve a riddle that is really difficult to solve because the Dodgers are still the Dodgers. And when the Brewers saw the Dodgers this summer, you can make the argument that they weren't necessarily the Dodgers. Yeah, they saw Yamamoto back when they were beating them 6 games in a row, 3 here and 3 there. But, they were kind of a shell of their former selves. But that's what great teams do. They know that they need to ramp up when the postseason gets here.
Yeah, and that's what the Dodgers have been able to do. And the Brewers, who have lost 4 of their last 5, need to win 4 of their next 5 in order to advance to the World Series. Meanwhile, some postseason awards, some finalists are starting to come out now. The Gold Glove finalists were announced today. The Brewers have 2 of them, and they are not going to surprise you. Bryce Terang at second base is a finalist. Sal Frelick in right field is a finalist.
Love it.
So they were the reigning Gold Glovers at their positions last year, and they are finalists once again this year.
And that's how this team has won. That's how you play sound fundamental baseball, which is defense. And those 2 guys, like you said, reigning Gold Glove Award winners. Blake Perkins, I think, was a finalist last year as well.
Yes, he was.
Probably not eligible this year because he didn't play enough.
Joey Ortiz. I mean, I think he's Gold Glove caliber. I just think that position has so many elite.
Yeah,
defenders.
shortstop has a lot of really strong defenders. So let's go through some of the finalists here for each of those.
Come on,
positions.
tell me my boy Dansby's in there.
So in right field, it's Corbin Carroll, Sal Frelick, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
That's a strong group.
That's a very
that's
strong
a really
wins.
strong defensive group right there.
Yeah, shortstop in the National League is Mason Wynn, Nick Allen, and Mookie Betts.
Okay.
So that's a very strong group to try and get yourself into. And at second base, Xavier Edwards, Bryce Terang, and Nico Horner are the finalists.
Okay,
So-
that's. Listen,
Nico Horner, great player.
But yeah, absolutely. Listen, if either one of them, if either Sal or Bryce gets through and wins their second Gold Glove, they will have earned it through, with that grouping. Those are elite defenders that they're going up against.
Yeah, and Bryce Terang, platinum glover last year, best defender in the entire league, regardless of position.
And in the American League last year, it was Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, and he's not even a finalist this year. For the
No,
Gold
he
Glove.
hasn't had a great year behind the plate. He's had a great year at the plate,
Yes.
but not as good of a year behind
Although
the
I
plate.
believe
Based
he
off of the
just
season
gave
he's
up
had at the plate,
Yeah.
he's had a hell of a season behind the plate. I mean, like
Yeah.
if you're that good at the plate, you're typically not that great in the field.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have a passed ball all season. I don't
Not
believe
one.
I think some of his advanced metrics weren't. Who are the three finalists in the American League for catcher?
The finalists for American League catcher are Alejandro Kirk, Carlos Narvaez, not Omar, Carlos Narvaez, and Dylan Dingler.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ah, Dingler.
Yep.
Dirty Dingler.
Is that what they call him?
Did you just tag him with a
make that
nickname?
up?
You just make that up like
it up.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Also, Alex Bregman has opted out of his contract with the Boston Red Sox and will
There
be
you
a
go.
free agent once again. So
Watch out, Caleb Durbin.
more like watch out, Max Muncy. The Dodgers are going to let him go, and they'll just sign Alex Bregman to a $200
You
million
can't let go
deal.
your franchise's all-time leading home run leader. I mean,
Yes,
you can't
they
let that
can.
guy.
His contract's up at the end of the year.
He's incredibly talented. He should have had a
You're
great
talking
Yeah,
about
but
game
he's
in game one.
35, turning 36. They'll go get Bregman, sign him for 6 years and $200 million, and they'll just be even more of a Monstars team.
And you know what? Mike made fun of me for saying Bregman was going to opt out of this deal earlier this year. And now, unfortunately, I don't get to bask in that glory.
Of course you can.
Way.
Yeah.
But
You'll see him on Saturday.
I said it. And that's what I told him. I said, you know what? You trade for Bregman if you're a Brewers fan. You trade for him. And that's they rattled off 10 in a row. The Red Sox did at one point, and then they were relevant.
Well, there was the whole
playoff
Bregman.
team.
There was the whole Bregman Devers thing that
Right.
was going on for a while too. Now Devers
Yeah.
obviously with
Right.
the
I said, you
Giants.
trade for him. He's going to opt out anyway at the end of the year. And Mike said, absolutely not. He's not opting out. Well, there you go. He did.
Yeah, he did.
If he has a bad season, yeah, he's not going to. So
if
it's
a
a
player
risky
has
run.
if a player has a decent season, of course they're going to opt out because somebody's going to pay them stupid money. And the other thing is with 2026 kind of looming, I think guys are going to be more apt to say, well, before there is a cap, because everything's going to be grandfathered in, I'm going to grab the brass ring
Good
if it's
point.
available to me
Yep.
before perhaps there could be some salary restrictions that are not in place now that could be in place down the road.
Far better to be a free agent this offseason than it would be next offseason.
1,000%.
You're going to have that month or so, because I believe it runs out like December 1st is when the CBA runs out and when that
Mhm.
lockout would be instituted. So you'd have like a month of free agency. You'd probably see a flurry of moves early on before that deadline hits. But then whoever's left unsigned when that happens, you're going to be waiting a while. So it's going to be, if they don't cancel games, I mean, it's going to go right up to like start of spring training. It's going to go right up to the wire at the very least.
Well, that's what they always do. I mean, and they'll
Yeah.
probably ding the first couple of weeks of spring training like they always do when there's a lockout. And
I wonder how
eventually
deferred
cooler
money
heads will
would work.
prevail.
Like with a salary cap, if they'd still be able to do essentially the deferred
That's
money anyway.
that's the thing that MLB really needs to fix, because there's currently no cap on that. You can defer as much as you want, which is what the
I
Dodgers
was
did
going
with
to ask
Ohtani.
Shohei,
Yeah, who deferred $680 million of his $700 million contract. So I would imagine at the very least they're going to put in some restrictions on deferrals.
Yeah, there has to be, because it's not good for the game. And listen, the Yankees, The Mets didn't even make the postseason this year. The Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009. The Dodgers have had a glow up in the last decade or so, but I only air quotes, for a team that outspends everybody else. They've got 2 World Series championships. One of them was in the time as a flat circle year of 2020. The other one was last year, but they're always there. They're always in the postseason. They're always making these deep runs. If you're a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Kansas City Royals of a decade ago, you're counted on to have to make the best baseball decisions that you can possibly make because you don't have that margin of error that those other teams have. That's the difference. And if baseball can't wrap their mind around that, can't wrap their arms around that, then you're going to see just the rich get richer and the poor kind of get stuck in a way that they can only go so far. Like if you're the Brewers and you're going up against potentially, how many Hall of Famers would you say potentially could be on the Dodgers this year right now? 7, 6, 7?
Yeah.
How do you compete against that? I know that I'm getting a lot of clap, and I know I'm getting a lot of clap back on Twitter from Dodgers fans from the other day when I pointed out that, just those 2 players that were up at the dais after game 1, Snell and Freeman, between the 2 of them, $344 million have been committed to the 2 of them. If you throw Shohei in there, that's 3 players with over $1 billion committed to them. No other team in baseball can do that, but Mark Walter wants to do that because he just wants to buy World Series championship after World Series championship. On one hand, I admire his aggressiveness. That's what you want from an owner. The flip side of that is you just don't have the opportunity if you're not the Los Angeles Dodgers or the New York Yankees or the New York Mets, who collapsed at the end of the season, or more likely the second half of the season. It was a complete and utter collapse. But the Los Angeles Angels, they've got the opportunity to do so, but Artie Moreno, maybe not a great owner. But the opportunity is there, but you still have to make those good decisions, and you still have to make a good baseball team around your superstars. And that's what the Angels haven't been able to do. So it's hard to do, but you still have to, you have to try to wrap your arms around this thing.
Yeah, and so many of those Dodgers fans coming at us in the mentions and whatnot just seem to think, oh yeah, any team can do this.
Yeah.
Your owners, that they have money, they totally can just do this on their own. They just choose not to. No.
Yeah.
Not everyone can just do this. Like, you have a problem with your yacht. Why don't you just buy a second one?
Sure.
Sorry, I don't actually have the ability to buy a yacht in the first place.
Sand. Yeah, I mean, the Brewers have an owner that steals sand. I mean, there are different levels to this stuff. I saw a post last night, for what it's worth, from a random Brewers fan, Wyatt something, saying, how each team acquired their pitchers in particular. And, the Brewers drafted one, traded for, minor league contract, traded for. Dodgers, free agency, international free agency, and then just more free agency.
Yeah.
And he phrased this as a lose-lose. The Brewers win this series, salary cap sounds like not going to happen, because it proves that, even in the current model, the lowest salary
it's going to be very hard to get it anyway.
Can succeed. So, and if the Dodgers win, obviously it's the Dodgers win. That's a lose. Brewers not happy there. So might be a lose-lose situation for the pessimists out there.
Well, but if the Brewers win, then the Brewers are in the World Series. Yeah. So then we got that going for us.
There's a win.
So that's kind of a win.
Well, I mean, look at the Dodgers lineup right now. Who is homegrown on the Los Angeles Dodgers right now? Freddie Freeman? No, he came up through the Braves organization. Mookie Betts was came
Will
up through
Smith.
There's one. Okay, you got Mookie Betts came up through the Red Sox. Shohei was an Angel. Yamamoto came from Japan. I mean, they're not drafting and developing guys. They're just buying players. And yeah, that's the market. That's what the rules allow. And I give them credit at least for operating within the rules. It's just that their rules are different than anybody else's. To Dave's point, I would love to buy a mansion. You know what I can't afford to buy? A mansion. Yeah. So you don't come out and say, well, anybody can buy a mansion.
Technically, it's for sale.
It's for sale. Why don't you just go ahead and buy that mansion? Because I can't afford it. You dope.
But you've got money, right? You totally got enough just hidden away in your mattress.
Yeah.
Everyone does, right?
Have you tried investing in crypto?
Snell's.
Why don't you just dip into your trust fund and use that? Because I don't have one.
Yeah, Mike Romero writes in. Blake Snell as well. I mean, there's came up through the Rays organization. I mean, it's just one after another after another. It's like we identify a great player and let's go out and purchase him.
Let's just get the best player on the market every single year.
All right. Enough of our pitching about this. Well,
we'll have more to come.
It'll continue, I'm sure. Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, is going to meet the media live in Green Bay coming up in about 5 minutes or so. We will bring that to you live as we kind of turn the page on the Brewers for now, but we'll get back to that. The Packers, they've got a game coming up on Sunday against the Cardinals, and we'll talk all about that with the head coach of your Green Bay Packers coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. It's D.N.D, Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper on the game.
Fox on Tech.
What did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for U.S. users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Apple has new iPhones and other things for you. The Cupertino, California tech giant held its yearly product reveal and promised the world and its devoted customer base it wants to keep to ethos set by its late founder, Steve Jobs, that usable tech must look good, feel good, and work well.
For us, design goes beyond just how something looks or feels. Design is also how it works. This philosophy guides everything we do.
Apple CEO Tim Cook during the presentation, which debuted iPhone 17, along with a Pro and Pro Max version, as well as a super thin, first-of-its-kind iPhone Air, no thicker than a few credit cards. Improved Apple Watches, including Ultra 3 with satellite connectivity, and AirPods Pro 3 with live translations, allowing wearers to speak with one another in differing languages. You can order your new Apple stuff today. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Google is bringing about more AI to more people around the world. U.S.-based users of Google's search engine have been seeing a transition to AI mode for their web searching. Instead of lists of websites that may or may not have much to do with your search query, you've been given comprehensive answers, explanations, or steps to take with sources cited. Google is now rolling out AI mode to more people around the world as it begins to deploy and integrate more agentic artificial intelligence features. In what Google hopes will be the near future, Google won't just find you a restaurant, it will book reservations on your behalf. It will also rely on your Google history to make decisions for you, or at least present you with options you'd like. Agentic, meaning agent-like features, will be part of Google AI's Ultra tier, a service costing subscribers $250 a month. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Photo editing used to be the work of highly specialized artists and technicians. Cropping and burning, overexposing and underexposing all occurred in darkrooms using physical means. Nowadays, we click and drag a mouse, or we might even tap, squeeze, or select. As photo editing apps become both more advanced and more accessible to more people, not just photography professionals. But what if you could edit your photo just by asking? Google has that now. Unveiled Wednesday at their Made by Google event, Google Photos will now have a feature in which the user can simply ask the app to perform a desired edit of their image. They can ask by voice or even by typing the request into the prompt. And yes, it's powered by Google's Gemini AI. And no, you don't need a working knowledge of photo terms or techniques. Edit by Asking is debuting across the Pixel 10 series of smartphones. With Fox on Tech, I'm Evan Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
What did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for US users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Evan Brown, Fox News.
It's D.N.D. Doug, Nick, Dave, Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper here on the game on this Wednesday, October 15th. Coming up on Sunday afternoon, it's the Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals, a 3:25 kickoff. You can listen to it if you're listening to us on 1070 The Game in Madison. That will be on our sister stations, WIBA AM and WIBA FM. So 1310 WIBA, where I also do morning sports, is where you can find the Packers game starting at 3:25 with Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarron on the call, John Kuhn on the sidelines. The pregame show, network pregame show, begins at 1 o'clock. And then right here on 1070 The Game in Madison, I will have Packers game day starting at 11 a.m. live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So looking forward to that. Matt LaFleur is getting set to meet the media. We will go to him just as soon as he approaches the podium live in the basement of Lambeau Field. Also, coming up a little bit later on in the program, we've got Nick Brusewitz's interview with Chris Brooks from the Badgers football team because they've got Ohio State coming up on Saturday. That's going to be a tough one, and Jim Polzin will join us coming up in the final hour of the show.
Yeah, I mean, the Badgers conversation, we can shelve it for now. We're getting set for LaFleur at the podium. There is a new home for the Packers in Milwaukee on 95.7 that we officially announced yesterday, with the Packers putting out a press release on that, announcing that it's going to be simulcast, at least for the next couple of weeks, to ease that transition.
So on 97.3, is it B97.3 now is what they're calling it?
B97.3.
Okay, so if you're watching on the stream, we still have the 97.3 The Game logo on it, and it's just, gets you in the
for now.
Cockles
Nostalgia.
of the heart. Nostalgia. We should start giving away. We got all kinds of prizes we should start giving away.
Yeah.
That we never had a chance to. We've got all kinds of logoed stuff that we just taking up space right now. So maybe we'll have an auction over that and just donate all the money to charity.
Donate to our unemployment fund.
That's a little morbid.
Come on.
But yes, in Milwaukee, it will be heard on 97.3 FM, whatever they're calling it now, B97.3, as well as the big 95.7. So that's a lot of numbers. So I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not that far down the dial.
No,
just
you'll be able to find it.
Times.
Sure. And it'll also be, you can find it on Packers.com. You can also stream it on the iHeartRadio app as well. So we are continuing to broadcast the Packers games. They won't sound any different. Wayne is still there. Larry's still there. John Kuhn is still there. I'm still doing the pregame show on the Game Radio Network. And then Billy and Drew will still be doing Packers OT after the games, fielding your phone calls as well, hopefully talking about a big Packers win over the Arizona Cardinals, a team that the Packers should be able to beat. Packers are, I think, a team that is still yet to hit its stride. One of the big concerns is the fact that they haven't been able to close out games, is the fact that once you feel like Wayne has thrown the dagger, then you've got to wait a minute. Not yet. Dagger hasn't been thrown yet. And then you have to kind of figure out exactly what's going on and why they're not able, why Jeff Hafley's defense isn't able to kind of step on the necks of their opponents. Micah Parsons, by the way, is getting assaulted on every play. If you look at the all 22, he is getting just absolute, and that's your reputation, I suppose. And that's hopefully going to let other guys, as they say, other guys eat, like Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, I mean that's what we saw with Cowboys fans were always complaining about that for the last couple of years. Like, he's held on every play, he's getting assaulted. What is this? And it's
turns out they were right.
It's like,
I
hate
saying the Cowboys fans were right, but they were right. Damn it,
they were right. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: I did see yesterday that the officiating crew for Sunday's matchup in Arizona between the Packers and Cardinals will be led by Alex Moore. And this crew ranks number 1 in penalties, number 1 in penalties per game, number 1 in penalty yards, and number 2 in penalty yards per game this season.
But that's going to go both ways then, though, too, because it's going to be one of those games that's just start, stop, and it's going to take 4 hours to get it over with.
I think we'll have a pretty good understanding, though, of how the league's deciding to officiate Micah Parsons come Sunday night. If there aren't penalties called on the egregious and obvious holds that are taking place on him rushing the quarterback, then we know that there might be a conspiracy here. There might be a league situation where they're like, we like the Cowboys. They're a major brand. We love the Packers, but we like the Cowboys a lot. We don't want them to look bad. So let's make Micah Parsons maybe not a great player this year.
Well, that's Jerry Jones executing his power and influence over the National Football League, because he is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You've been working on that one, haven't you?
I have been, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Is it good?
Billy's out, so now Dave steps in.
Well,
someone's got to do it.
I mean, Billy just he drops into it so naturally. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's sometimes with an impression, you got to workop it a little bit. I'm saying you're on the right track.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. Can keep working.
But keep working on it.
Oh, yeah. We got plenty of time.
We got plenty of time. Just keep working on it. One of the things that I'm certain it might be the first question that who's going to ask the first question? I'm going to say Bill Huber.
Yeah.
One of the first questions, if not the first question, has to be about Lucas Van Ness and his medical situation. I saw him in the locker room after the game on Sunday, after the Packers beat the Bengals. He was in a walking boot and crutches. Didn't look great. And he was there with Tom Fanning. Basically, Tom was there to keep media away because we're not allowed to talk to injured players unless they want to, talk about either their injuries. If they're injured, that's just the rule. It's a courtesy, but it is, one of the things that they, try to keep as sacrosanct as they possibly can. And, there's some respect there. But if it's going to be a long-term injury, I think we're going to find out. And I can't imagine that Lucas Van Ness is going to play anytime soon, but you never know. And to me, that's going to be a huge blow to the Packers defense because Lucas Van Ness was starting to get it. And that's at the beginning of the season before Micah Parsons was ever even traded for. That was one of the things that we were centering on. Is Lucas Van Ness, former first-round draft choice, number 13 overall. He was part of an ancillary part of that Aaron Rodgers trade, but the Jets at number 16 went out and got Will McDonald, Waukesha product, but went to Iowa State. And Will McDonald in New York with the Jets, he's
pretty good.
Flourished into a great player. He's flourished into, the scoop, the block and scoop on the Buccaneers, but also double-digit sacks last year as well, and one of the best quarterback pressures in the league.
He's a very good player. I did think of something earlier when you were talking about the Packers not putting it away. The Buccaneers have the best record in football, 5-1, best in the NFC. They just went into victory formation for the first time this past weekend. They won 30-19 over the 49ers.
Right.
Like, it just screams every team is still trying to figure it out, even the ones that appear to be good. I mean, even the ones that appear to be the best teams in the NFL. I saw the Bucs picked as the top team in a lot of power rankings this week. They've had one time where they've been put in a position where they actually had the game put away by the time they had the final possession. So Packers are not alone in the fact that they can't put teams away at this moment. But nonetheless, Will McDonald. Van Ness, of course he gets hurt while getting a sack, right? It's like,
of course,
It's like, he's done something. Let's get. Oh, where's he going?
He's got to limp off the field.
Oh, is there a cart coming? Oh, he's getting on a cart?
Well, and the thing about Van Ness, and Matt LaFleur, by the way, is just meeting the media right now, so let's go live to Green Bay.
Start the week, how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I think just both those guys have different skill sets. Obviously, Jacoby went in there and was very productive. I think that was their most productive game up to this date, offensively. So, but we all know the type of player that Kyler is, because he can make the on schedule and the off schedule. So it's going to be a little bit more on our players' plate, but that's just the situation. That's what we got to do.
What was it in your mind that Jacoby did so well to spark that offense more?
Just put the ball where it needed to go, and he got the ball out of his hands and was throwing accurately and did a really nice job.
What have you seen from their defense and what Buda Baker brings to that group?
Well, the defense as a whole, obviously we had exposure to them a year ago. It's night and day, in my opinion, just some of the pieces that they've added, especially up front. It's they're playing well. And I think that you can't get too lost in win-loss record. I mean, this is a team that's lost 4 games in a row by 9 points. Like, I think I read something that's unprecedented. So this is a good football team, and we better be ready to play.
Is Marshawn Lloyd any closer to practicing, or is it still going to be a bit?
Well, he's getting closer, I would say.
This week?
No.
Is Wyatt getting close to getting back?
He's getting closer. He won't go today, but we'll obviously give him the week.
Last couple games, Georgia has seemed to go to Golden in really critical situations down the stretches. What does that say just about the progress Golden has made so far this year? What have you seen?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily premeditated. I think he's got confidence in whoever's in the right spot. I would tell you that he's going to him based on what the coverages dictate. So, and then, MG's making the plays. So, but I don't think it's, just that he didn't have confidence in him before. He's always had confidence in him, and MG's maximizing those opportunities and doing a great job and showing strong hands. And I mean, that was a heck of an off-schedule play they made on the last or second to last third down of the game.
Matt, you mentioned the 4 straight losses for the Cardinals. How do you get your team to match the kind of desperation that you're going to see? They're going to be at home desperately not wanting to go to the
Sure.
finals, right?
I think our guys understand that. I mean, we haven't won on the road either. So we got to do a good job of preparing and getting ready to play our best ball. I don't think we've played a complete game up to date. We've had moments in each phase that have been really good, but to do it collectively for 4 quarters, I don't think we've done that. And we're going to need to do that against a really strong football team.
Do you anticipate Colin Oliver being able to, come off PUP at some time, or is that still up in the air?
I'd say that's up in the air, but I mean, we're working towards that for sure.
How did Zach get through the game, and will he practice to start the week?
It could change, but we're not anticipating him going today. But I did talk to him this morning. He's feeling better.
What's the challenge with McBride? Obviously, he had a pretty good game against you guys here last year.
Yeah, he's one of the best tight ends in the league right now. They're going to try to get him the ball as much as possible, and they do a great job in doing it in different ways. They use him as a vertical threat. They can get it to him underneath. I just think he's a great competitor and a really good player. He's well-rounded.
That's good.
Okay. All right. We'll see you all out there.
All right, short and sweet with Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, and doesn't give you a lot when it comes to injury updates. So
yeah,
the guy
he might be out there.
He might be out there, but he's not going to go today. But we'll give him until game time.
Yeah,
I try and take notes.
We'll see.
We'll see of what he's saying. And the problem is he answers so quickly, I don't even get to finish the note I'm writing because I have another note to write. But a lot of Cardinals focus there. Seriously, I mean, almost the entire thing was about the Cardinals and not about his own team.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. It's kind of an art almost for these coaches and GMs to be able, and politicians too, but that's for a different conversation on a different station down the hall. But the art of saying things of saying words without saying anything at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a class for that?
There must be.
Because, listen, I don't watch a lot of politics on television because.
Probably best.
Yeah.
Probably best for your mental health.
Agreed. Absolutely. But, and this isn't a red. This isn't a blue. This is straight down the middle. None of them say a damn word. None of them are saying anything. And coaches are getting better at that. Not
but they
saying
sound
anything.
super smart when they're saying it.
Well, and if you say it fast and if you say it with authority,
yeah,
I think that's the politician thing. They just say it with so much confidence, even though they're not saying squat. None of them.
David Stearns was phenomenal.
No right now, there is not a politician in America that's worth a damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only shut down.
Well,
government,
Doug, to challenge you on that, they're all worth a lot.
Where's the bell? Where's the bell?
Where'd my bell go?
There it is. Ding, that's worth the ding of the bell. Well done, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They can afford to not come to work. I think they're still getting paid though too.
Oh yeah, probably. Just follow the stock trader and just see what kind of stocks they're trading and just make the same trades.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't have $150,000 to just throw at a stock.
Yeah. And I had a program director once who said, "All right, you can stray away from sports and do politics, but you do it at your own peril." And I get that, but what if you hate all of them?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And what if they're all a bunch of useless idiots?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think they're useful for is following their stock tips. See what they buy, see what they sell, and you know what? I'm going to do that same thing.
I think you're right. All right, that's enough politics here on the game.
And that has been politics.
And that has been politics.
We
talk.
are trying all different formats here.
Whatever, we're throwing it. We're waiting to see what sticks.
Yeah,
and,
coming up next, we'll have Taylor Swift conversation.
What do you think of a life of a showgirl? It's D.N.D. on 1070 The Game in Madison, around the state, on the Game Radio Network. We are streaming on the streamers, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitters, or the X's, whichever you prefer.
The Insta chats, the Snapgrams,
the Twizzlers, the
FaceTimes. Oh, that actually is a thing.
You messed it up, Doug. Come on.
I know. I'm so sorry. But if you have taken the effort to try to find us, and you have found us in a place that is not where you found us just a few days ago, we appreciate the effort. More than we can even say. So thank you for being out there. Thank you for sticking with us. And we've got more sports talk because you have just listened to politics talk here on the Game Radio Network. And now we will do something entirely different because this is not what we do. We talk about sports, and we're going to do that coming up straight ahead. Stay with us here on the Game.
Fox on Set.
Photo editing used to be the work of highly specialized artists and technicians. Cropping and burning, overexposing and underexposing all occurred in darkrooms using physical means. Nowadays, we click and drag a mouse, or we might even tap, squeeze, or select. As photo editing apps become both more advanced and more accessible to more people, not just photography professionals. But what if you could edit your photo just by asking? Google has that now. Unveiled Wednesday at their Made by Google event, Google Photos will now have a feature in which the user can simply ask the app to perform a desired edit of their image. They can ask by voice or even by typing the request into the prompt. And yes, it's powered by Google's Gemini AI. And no, you don't need a working knowledge of photo terms or techniques. Edit by Asking is debuting across the Pixel 10 series of smartphones. With Fox on Tech, I'm Evan Brown, Fox News.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to be Wild, which charts at number 2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are number 1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital, and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon and Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to number 1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to number 1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their 6th album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits number 14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to cook me a dinner. My baby used to cook me a dinner.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
It's Game Radio Network. D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave on this Wednesday, October 15th. Don't assume my politics on the talk and text line. Don't.
This is why we normally don't talk politics.
I know, because you say something and somebody assumes something.
Yeah.
Don't assume anything.
Yeah.
Don't, please.
Especially because it's not accurate. But
especially because it's not accurate.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Moving along.
Anyway, sports are happening.
Sports! Yay!
That's right.
The Badgers, they've got a game coming up on Saturday against the top-ranked team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Badgers are kind of going through it right now. One of the more intriguing transfers this past year for the Badgers is safety Matt Young from Neenah. Division III transfer.
Yep.
And
D3 rise up.
Yeah, absolutely. Help I'm Oshkosh, you're lacrosse.
Yep.
Nick is Division I.
Yeah. Explains a lot.
Well, I'm from a D3 town, Ripon College. So.
That's true. There you go. That's true. I'll give you that.
Go.
So Matt Young now getting his first taste of Division 1A big time college football, and you had a chance to catch up with him after the Badgers loss this past weekend against Iowa.
Yeah, Matt Young, he had the second highest team total in tackles, 8 tackles in the game. It was his first opportunity to play for the team he grew up rooting for in a rivalry that really mattered. So here's a pretty raw conversation that I ended up having with him one-on-one. It was supposed to be a group setting, but I was fortunate enough to get him one-on-one for about 5 minutes. Here is that conversation.
Matt, you guys grow up in the state. Certainly you're from Neenah. You look forward to a matchup like this, and ultimately it falls flat. Where do you feel this team didn't live up to what you expected?
I mean, all around, you can't really point fingers anywhere. I mean, we got our ass kicked, and that's what happened. They handed it to us, and we came out flat. We weren't obviously. There's really no explanation for how we played, and that just can't happen.
Oftentimes a performance like this late in the season can kind of just lend to the end of the year, but you guys have 6 more opportunities, and it begins next week against an Ohio State group that, we just heard from Chris Brooks. They're not going to hold anything back from you guys. So, tomorrow you're going to dig into this one. But how important is it for you guys to show that you're better than this next week against Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, the challenges, we play in the Big Ten, the challenges are only going to continue to get harder, and we're going to find out who we are every single week, and we need to find the guys that are going to come in and work their tails off and come together, because obviously we need to find something.
How hard can it be for a defense to kind of turn around quickly, right? You guys get a stop or you force a field goal, and there's a turnover on the other end, and you're thrust back out there. What's the greatest challenge in kind of turning it around that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, football is the greatest team sport, so turnarounds like that happens, and we need to have the offensive back, and when that happens, we need to go out there and force a stop.
I know it's hard to look at his silver lining in a game like this, but you do see a guy like Mason Post get out there as a true freshman and make plays. I know it's not necessarily something to, hang your hat on, but the reality is there are some young guys playing pretty prominent roles here and stepping up if needed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of talent on this team, and that's the hard part. Like, we see it in ourselves, and we just need to come together and show what we can really do.
You guys lost a couple of games in a row now, and the reality was you've kind of heard the same thing after each game, right? That we have to come together and we need to be better moving forward, and that just hasn't happened. So where do you see that greatest disconnect right now?
I don't have a good answer for that. That's if I saw where it was, I think we would all see where it was, and we would have it figured out by now. So I think we still need to figure out where it was so we can attack whatever it is.
When you see your coach kind of wear it like he did, we just spoke to him. You weren't in there, but certainly he spoke to you guys afterwards, and he said, starts with me. I need to put these guys in a better position to succeed. Is that something that you guys kind of feel like you can rally around, and say, we got to do better for this guy or for these guys? Coach Cooper, name your guy and that coaching staff.
Sure. I mean, we trust all the coaches. We know all the coaches have our back, and when we can't go out and perform for them, it's disappointing for us. But we know that they have our backs at all times, and we have all of our trust in all of this coaching staff.
Losing to Iowa hurts a little bit more, just knowing the expectation is you guys leave this building or stay in this building with a trophy. And it didn't happen once again. The Badgers have now lost 4 straight times to Iowa. First time in 20 years that has happened. And people want to question where this program is at. We can make all the claims we want on the outside, but you're on the inside. You see the day-to-day. Do you feel as if you guys are preparing every week? And you feel comfortable that you're going to win each game?
Yeah, I mean, we got to block out what all the outside is saying, and the only people that matter are the people inside this building. We can't look at what other people are saying because they're going to say stuff, and some of the stuff might be deserved. But what matters right now is people on the team, the people on staff, and the people who are in this building every single day, and that's all we can talk to, and all those are the people that matter right now.
It's been a long time since you guys have had the opportunity to have consecutive games at home, whether it was going into the bye with a home game or coming out of the bye with a home game, I should say, on the road at Michigan. Is there value in knowing that you're going to be right back here next week? You don't have to gear up and travel and play elsewhere?
I mean, yeah. I mean, playing at Camp Randall is always valuable. So we have one of the coolest stadiums in the nation, and playing here is definitely always has value.
Last one, when you look at the other sideline, certainly getting more out of jump around than you guys. I mean, how infuriating, how frustrating can it be to watch the other side kind of have their way and get to celebrate when that's supposed to be the time Badgers and Badger fans are celebrating?
Yeah, it hurts. Obviously, growing up a Badger fan, lifelong Badger, I mean, this isn't what I felt when I was watching them growing up, and I think that's how everyone on this team feels, and it hurts. It hurts a lot.
Yeah. What he's saying is I didn't sign up for this.
Well, a little bit. I mean, I do think his path's a little different, right? This is a Division I program. It took a chance on a D3 guy. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a dude that watched Rose Bowls and J.J. Watt, name your guy, star players for a decade plus as a kid.
And had success at the Division III level, and now isn't. And I feel
no doubt.
I feel bad to a certain extent, but I think everybody in that locker room kind of has to look in the mirror and figure out exactly how they're going to dig themselves back to be honest with you, respectability as a Big Ten football team. And I know that, they've got a difficult schedule this year, but they haven't won a Big Ten game in a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and to reset the scene, that's Matt Young. That's a transfer safety from Bethel College, a Neenah native. I thought it was really interesting. I think it was too. I was the only one at that table.
I thought he's a fantastic interview. That was well done on your part and his, because there was a lot of honesty there. There was a lot of rawness that was there. And, while I feel for everyone that's, part of this situation right now, there's so much blame to go around. I know that everyone wants to center on the head coach, and, there's blame that has to be shouldered there, but it goes deeper than Luke Fickell. And I said this on yesterday's show, and I think that a lot of people are asking the same question, perhaps using different words to say it, but I don't see the path right now to them digging themselves out of the hole that they have dug themselves into. Forget this year. I'm talking about long-term, because the lifeblood of college athletics is always and has always been and will always be recruiting. But now that you add the NIL element to it, it just, and I don't have a problem with players getting paid. I mean, I think that everyone should get paid for their work. And if you're, creating millions of dollars for the universities, I think that you should be able to, that's the capitalist in me. Let's go back to politics. That's the capitalist in me. You should be able to benefit, from your labor. And right now, because I don't know if it's that they were slow to NIL. Indiana was slow to NIL, but Mark Cuban wrote a big check. And we see that Indiana right now is a top 5 team in college football after, the joke from so many years was, oh, I forgot they even had a football program, because many of us did forget that they had a football program. In this NIL era, it's all about how much money do you have to spend on players, on coaches, on facilities. Money, money, money. It is professional athletics right now. That's fine, but let's not pretend that it's anything than what it is.
No doubt, Doug. I mean, I think that's the reality that's been pretty clear since the moment NIL reared its ugly head. I think Wisconsin was slow to react. I think Wisconsin is slow to fully embrace it. They put them behind the 8 ball, and now you ask if they even have the resources to compete. This was not embraced, and you can't necessarily wholeheartedly blame this school, this program, for not doing so, because you didn't know what the hell it was going to be, and honestly, no one knows what the hell it is quite yet. But they just haven't done well enough with the current system.
Yeah, and it's been the Wild West really in that part as well these past couple of years. I mean, there's been almost no regulations. There's been no real plan. It seems like it's
like Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's thrown as
right?
much money at it as possible. And even if Wisconsin did adapt to it early and jump on NIL early and all of that, it's still going to cost them an arm and a leg nowadays to try and field a competitive roster, to put yourself in that top spot. So, yeah, you're going to need to find a Mark Cuban somewhere and get some get some.
Does Diane Hendricks like sports?
Maybe.
Isn't she a Wisconsin grad? All right, we'll figure that out on the other side. Stay with us on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to #1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations, the Bay City Rollers, finally score a hit in the U.S. with the #1 single Saturday Night.
Saturday night.
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a #2 U.S. album with Silk Degrees. Peter Frampton hits number 1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you, show me the way, every day. I want you, show me the way, night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album Jailbreak scores them a number 12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Dino's.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1976, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
He bought my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, clever fingers, never seen him fall. That kept on a blind kid, sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you my friend? I promised myself I'd get back. Said I'm gonna try it with a tool.
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Hall & Oates songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Kiss on My List.
Because your kiss is on my list. Because your kiss is on my list. You're the best thing in life.
Number 2. You Make My Dreams. Number 1. Man Eater.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
Hear more from Hall & Oates and similar artists now. Search for Hall & Oates on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Touchdown! Milwaukee's most listened to sports station and the home of your Green Bay Packers.
Hey, dagger right through the heart.
WRN
WFM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers are down 2-0 in the NLCS to the Dodgers. Game 3 of the ALCS is tonight, and you have the Mariners and Tigers and Mariners and Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays. They play in Toronto.
I'm trying to move on to the next round here, but it's Toronto's down, and now they're going to Seattle.
You can say they're in the big dumper.
Oh,
hey, ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Well done.
Thank
I
you.
was thinking about this. Think about the travel in that series and how much less it could have been had the Tigers just won. I
know.
Toronto
Could
to
just taken a
Detroit,
bus.
bing, 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 bing. Instead, it's all the way across the country.
Yeah, you could have just popped over on Lake Ontario, and we're here to go. Let's do it. But
for the Canadians, they have Bieber on the mound. Shane Bieber, not Justin.
He's a Canadian too.
He is a Canadian too.
I'm a
but
believer.
You're a believer?
Somehow I believe that.
Yeah, that
You
is
know
the
what?
least
I saw-
surprising
I
thing to
saw
come
your-
out of the show today.
I saw your anniversary post on Instagram last night. It was very
Thank
cute.
you.
And, all I could think of was your girlfriend is just one less lonely girl.
That's right.
Oh,
That is
wow.
right.
There it is.
And you know
Ding
what?
that bell.
For the
Thank you.
first time in a long time, it's all taken men on this program. We're feeling good. Dave's building off
Yeah.
some recent momentum.
Hey,
Celebrating a
not going
birthday.
to randomly
Hasn't
throw
proud of ya.
strays at me anymore on a.
Well,
on a
the
different
arrow was pointing before this NLCS. The arrow was pointing straight up for Dave Gasper. Now
Yeah.
we're wondering if it's up to the right or if it's just it's gone up. It's plateaued for a while.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep the dauber going up here. But
I know,
George
right?
Kirby on the mound then for Seattle, so that should be a good series. But you don't want this to be a sweep. But you got the road team getting wins in each of the first two games in
Mhm.
these LCSs. Makes things very very interesting. I'm not sure how often that's happened before.
And you could have an all West Coast World Series if things, trend out the way
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
kind of trending out. Listen, if you want to talk about travel, that would be easy. Toronto to Milwaukee. I mean, that's not a difficult flight.
No, not at all.
So
Yeah, much easier than
maybe an
Milwaukee to
hour-
Los Angeles.
I'm gonna say like an hour 20 between
Yeah.
Milwaukee and Toronto.
Yeah, probably bop up to 29,000 feet and then just back
well,
down
it's
again.
Toronto Eastern time zone.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
So I mean, yes, an hour and 20, but technically 2 hours and 20 from the time they.
But
take
on the way
off.
back, it's only 20 minutes.
That's right.
yeah. So, bada bing, bada boom. There you
So
go.
there's some giveaway and takeaway on that though too.
Yeah. But one team that is not in the playoffs anymore is the Chicago Cubs.
That's a shame.
As we well know. And Pope Leo is a White Sox fan.
Yes, he is.
hails from Chicago.
He does.
And he's out in his Pope Mobile thing, waving to the crowd.
I've always wanted one of those for myself, but go on.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, you could be like the Dodgers and just buy one and just say, well, anyone can have a Pope Mobile. But,
Okay, you get one of those.
thank you. But yeah, so Pope Leo's going around, and there was a Cubs fan that shouted at him, and Pope Leo had a response. And Perdido, they lost. you try and shout "Go Cubs" at me, they lost.
Oh, Pope
well,
Leo. I never
Pope
thought
Leo.
we'd see an American. Not only did I not think we'd ever see American Pope in my lifetime, I never thought we'd ever see one. Period. But
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, and here we go.
And
And,
here we
he's
go.
a White Sox fan.
He's from
and
Chicago. He and I lived
does
in the
not
same
like
city
the
for a
Cubs.
while.
And listen, Pope Leo, I know you got a line to the big guy.
Yeah.
If you
I mean,
could,
like direct line.
if you could help us out here, vanquishing the Cubs as you are much appreciative of,
Mhm.
because I mean, just think of it. Pope Leo is probably watching Game 5
Sure.
of that NLD. Like
I would think.
he was probably watching it.
We need to send him some Brewers swag.
Yes, we do.
Okay. We'll
we
work
need,
on
we
that.
need to send him an L
Is
flag. Send
anybody-
him the L flag that Trevor McGill held up
Is
during the
anybody-
team photo.
Is anybody heading to Rome in the audience that you can just drop by and
Anybody can go to Rome.
anybody can get into the Vatican.
That's right. That's right.
Anybody can talk to the
I
Pope.
mean, it's just about money. How
Right.
much you got.
Sure.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, got to get him some swag there because Brewers fans and White Sox fans have kind of been uniting on this front.
What do they say? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
So there we go. But Pope Leo, help us out here, bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Or father,
father. Yes.
Maybe not bro, but
not bro.
Holy Father. Neither here nor there.
Yeah, neither here nor there. Minor details.
Sure.
Minor details, whatever you call them. Gold Glove finalists are out today. The Brewers have two of them, Sal Frelick in right field, who is the reigning Gold Glove winner at that position, and Bryce Terang at second base, also the reigning Gold Glove winner at that position, and the reigning Platinum Glove winner in the National League. So they are back contending again, and those are the Brewers' two finalists.
It depends on
year.
when the voting probably already took place. And, Sal won one last year, so he's got a great reputation of being an elite fielder. But if the voting were to take place after that 8-6-2 GIDP, I mean, that's got to get him a couple of votes, right?
You would think. And as we all know, offensive performance is a big part of winning the Gold Gloves because, of course, it totally should be. But that's just it seems to be the way that it goes. Whoever just has like the best season, you're a really great offensive player. Sure, your defense is fine. We'll give you a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way that it's gone. But Bryce Terang has gotten even better offensively this year. And with his reputation that he has, even though some of his defensive numbers kind of backed up this year, I think Bryce Terang repeating at second base in the National League, I could totally see it making sense because
I think both
he
Sal,
hit better, which has a direct correlation to Gold Gloves.
Somehow, some way, you're right, Dave. I think Sal and Bryce are in pretty advantageous spot, knowing the positions that they're playing. If they were center field and shortstop, I think it's a far tougher conversation to have. But I think Sal in right field, you're not necessarily the best fielder in right field, and certainly at second base, you're not considered to be the best fielder on your team.
There have been some pretty damn good right fielders over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the guys with like cannon arms.
Yeah. Right. Bo Jackson.
Right. I just think you look at center field as the elite.
I remember seeing throws
player
from right field from him. But,
slinging the rock one way or another.
Dave Parker was a right
Sal's
fielder.
a great player.
Oh, yeah. Very good one.
Yeah. He had a cannon for an arm.
Hall of Famer, famously.
Jim Edmonds is grossly overrated based on advanced metrics.
Well, he made the spectacular.
Yeah, he made the one over the shoulder diving backwards.
It was kind of like he was and this is an exaggeration, but it was like his athletic ability wasn't up to par.
Yeah.
So everything was a little bit harder for him to do, similar to Jeter. Like athletically, they were not elite. So doing things, albeit they have great instincts, could have been routine for other people, but it makes it look cool when they do sweet stuff. Also, in this conversation, Torrey Hunter was one of my favorites as a kid.
Oh, he was great. Oh my God, he was so good.
Fantastic center fielder.
Yep.
Andrew Jones, also one of the best defensive line center.
Yeah, there have been some really good ones.
Yeah.
So
elite. Blake Perkins among that group.
Blake Perkins in that group, certainly. So
Garrett Mitchell, whenever he's on the field.
That's never though.
I know. It's so sad. I love Garrett Mitchell.
You can't not love Garrett Mitchell.
Him, his family is great. Like it is just such a great story, great dude. You want the best for him. You want the success, and it's just like
he's the Christian Watson of baseball.
Yeah, you don't see him, and it's so tough. I know it's heartbreaking for him too to not be able to be out there with these guys and be a part of this because they really could use him. I mean, he had the big home run in Game 2 of the wild card last year. I mean, he has the ability to come up with those spots. You want homers? You need some pop in this lineup. Garrett Mitchell has the ability to provide that, but just need him back out there.
Yeah.
It's
the NicoletLaw.com talking text line open to you 877-794-1973. Jim and Oshkosh, we were talking about NIL at the end of last hour. Said, wasn't Paul Christ very slow to jump into NIL and left the program pretty bare when he left? Well, number one, he was fired. He didn't, air quotes, leave. He was
escorted out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there was that. Was Paul Christ slow to jump into NIL? I know college football's evolved over the last even the 3 or 4 years. Now you've got general managers, and Marcus Sedbury is the general manager of the Badgers football program. So he bears some responsibility to this as well. But at the end of the day, because college athletics has turned into just straight cash, homie, you've got to generate some money that somebody is going to write a big check to. And it's got to be more than just, one family, doing it. I brought up Diane Hendricks at the end of last hour. I don't know. She helped build the stadium. She's ABC Supply. I believe she's the richest person, certainly the richest woman in Wisconsin. I think she's the richest person in the state of Wisconsin. I don't know what she loves, if she loves athletics, but you got to knock on that door at least, because she helped build the Beloit Snappers Stadium, or at least she put ABC Supply Company on that stadium. I mean, I don't know what she feels about Badgers football, but that's the kind of people that you got to knock on the door, that Indiana did with Mark Cuban, that Phil Knight, in Oregon, T-Bone Pickens with Oklahoma State, although they haven't been successful, but he's written a lot of big checks over the years for that. You go to Ohio State and it's one, major donor after major donor after major donor after major donor that's helped build that program. And Wisconsin has to identify more than just someone with the last name of Kellner to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin is in a position now where, college football, college sports in general have turned into Major League Baseball. I mean, there's no cap.
Nope.
The teams that have the money that can spend will spend. The teams that don't, they don't. And I'm fearful Wisconsin's become a small market team, and that this is an inevitable uphill battle annually to even be competitive. And the Brewers have spoiled, I think, their fan base for a long time by being competitive.
Whoa. Are we going to talk about being spoiled rotten here?
I think, fine. I would say, to try and take the derogatory word out of there, I mean, the negative connotation that comes from spoiled. I think that the Brewers have excelled in a unwinnable situation for a long time in consecutive years, for a decade straight.
Yeah, and the Brewers have done that by being ahead of the trends. I mean, they are on the cutting edge of all the stuff with analytics and the future of baseball. They are on it. We talk about Wisconsin being slow to NIL, things like that. Wisconsin is not on the cutting edge of stuff when it comes to college football. When it comes to baseball stuff, the Brewers front office, they are on the cutting edge. They are right there at the forefront, driving this innovation, driving this change, and driving this in Major League Baseball, because what they've done offensively, what they've done with trying to build this team, it's something that no one else has really been trying to do, and they were able to win 97 games this year because of it. They've had success. They've won and made the playoffs 7 of the last 8 years because of this, because of their desire. Hey, small market teams don't have to rebuild every 5 years. You don't have to tear everything down to the studs every 5 years and rebuild for the next 5.
You just have to be in a continuous rebuild.
You just have to be continuously building up that farm system, having guys coming up, staying competitive while doing it. And when those guys leave, you're able to immediately replace them with guys from the farm system for the next 5 years. They've been able to do that and do it very successfully. A lot of other teams, a lot of other smaller market teams have not been able to do it because they're not on the cutting edge of analytics. They don't have that smart of a front office to be able to do it. They don't have maybe the ownership support that they need to do it. You look at the Rockies, you look at the Pirates, you look at the White Sox, you look at those teams. I mean, the White Sox aren't even small market. They're in Chicago, and they're just behind.
And they have the Pope.
And they have the Pope.
So everything you're saying, Dave, is correct. No argument.
Yeah.
That having been said, there are going to be the small market teams, whether it's the Royals, who've had their ups and downs over the
right.
I mean, but they did win a World Series.
Yes, and then they had the rebuild.
And they've had some great players. Salvi Perez, I think is going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's some great guys that they've run through there. Mike Moustakas, former Brewer, was also part of that World Series championship team. But you're going to see the Royals. You're going to see teams like the Rays continue to be one of the good small market teams. They're being sold right now too. So I think that that's only going to benefit them. A team like the Orioles, who've had their ups and downs. Teams like maybe the A's, when they get their situation in Las Vegas settled.
Yeah, John Fisher will totally spend then.
I mean, he stripped it down to the core to try to move it.
Yeah,
he stripped it down because he wanted Vegas. He stripped it down because now whether or not he reinvests, I can't tell you.
He says he will.
But my point is, all of these smaller market teams are looking at what the Brewers are doing and saying, if we want to win, that's an avenue in which we can win. There are some others that don't give a damn. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, I don't know if they give a damn. and if they're going to make those investments. But, I know that the Brewers very recently in the last couple of years invested millions of dollars into their Dominican Academy.
Yes.
Which is great. And I admire them for doing that. And this isn't a knock on them for doing that. But if you ever, like I do, because I'm a maps nerd, I wanted to see exactly where this academy was. So I went and looked in Santo Domingo and then kind of did a Google search for it. And it's right next to the Dodgers, same facility, right next to the Rays, same facility. The Red Sox are just up the street. The Yankees are over here. I mean, we can talk about the Brewers Dominican facility, which is lovely, but every team has a Dominican facility, or just about every team has a Dominican facility. And if you don't, you're now one of the ones that are being left behind.
Exactly.
Every team worth its salt right now has a pitching lab. The Brewers have been very successful with their pitching lab, but everybody's starting to catch up. The difference between small market teams and large market teams is while they will make those investments with the major league team, they can also make those investments with building up the same types of advantages that the Brewers have made. So while the Brewers have done it very smartly, and they should be given credit for being on the cutting edge of all of that, as you're saying, all these other teams are looking at that saying, well, we can be just as competitive, if not more competitive with the Brewers, because we're going to invest in that as well as be able to have more financial flexibility with major league talent as well.
Yeah, those secrets don't stay in the office very long. I mean, the word will get out around baseball, and your advantage can only be for a fairly short window. But it still is an advantage, and there still are cutting edge things that perhaps the Brewers are working on and that the front office is doing that we don't even know about yet at this point. I mean, yes, we know about the pitching lab. No one is allowed to go in there, but we know about the pitching lab. We know about the Dominican facility, but there's so many other things that these guys are probably doing in there that the rest of the league perhaps has not caught up on quite yet. So that's kind of the part of the continual driving of that and staying continuously competitive, giving yourself that edge and like, okay, everyone else is caught up. Moving on to the next thing. What else do we got? What else can we do to advance this team further and advance this game further?
No doubt. I mean, this is a team that I think is at the cutting edge, and I do wonder how much impact this NLCS performance will have on the future of the league. I mean, some people have speculated a great level of amount of impact on if there's going to be a salary cap or not. One of those, Jeff Passan, who's probably the leading baseball voice right now in terms of, insiders and respected people on the air. Is he a Shams Charania type? We'll see. I mean, if he keeps pushing false narratives moving forward, works at the same network,
sure,
we don't know. But he's been all over the internet for months talking about this and its potential impact. And now it's coming to fruition. In all likelihood, one way or another, you'll have some narrative to spin from the NLCS.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And by the way, I did do a Google map search of the Brewers baseball complex in Santo Domingo. It's great. It's like a mini American Family Fields of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where the stadium is smaller, but I'm, again, just on Google Maps right now, less than a quarter mile away is the Guardians complex. That's straight directly to the south. You've got the Royals directly to the north, about less than a mile. You could take out a pitching wedge from the Royals complex to hit the Astros complex. And from there, you can go over to the Cincinnati Reds complex. They all have them.
Yeah.
The Brewers didn't reinvent the wheel here.
No.
They've got a nice wheel down there, but to think that it's exclusive to them, it's not.
Yeah, no. Having a complex is incredibly important, and perhaps like the newness of it and the updated of it, because I mean, those guys will probably go on like, little tours, kind of like college campus tours. Like, yeah, you got all these college campuses. We got this, the dining hall, super nice building. We got this and we got that. And it's like, yeah, everyone's got those same things, but some may be nicer than others, and some may attract prospects better than others. And that's how you get the Jackson Churios. That's how you get the Jesus Mades and all these other guys. Because, I mean, when you're talking to them, they're probably about 13, 14 years old initially, and you're not signing them till they're 16. So, easily impressionable at that age. You have them here, you convince them, hey, we're going to take care of your kid, convince the parents and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's important to have that academy. They have it. They have a really great one. It was the Gordash project, his kind of final big deal that he was doing before he retired. And they did a phenomenal job with it up and down this organization, top to bottom. The Brewers have just done a phenomenal job at identifying talent and developing that talent and turning some of these guys into quality, useful big leaguers.
Yeah, I'm just extrapolating out just a little bit. Just to the east, southeast, just a little bit of the Brewers complex is the Red Sox. They're there as well. Let's see, the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't know if I mentioned them or not. I mean, it's just one baseball complex after another in this area. The Brewers, by the way, I will say, it looks like they've got the biggest complex with 4
There we go.
full-size fields.
Complex size matters. As we all know.
Because I'm going, the Guardians, they've got 2 full-size fields and a practice infield. Let's see. Let's go up to the Rays. What do they have? The Tampa Bay Rays, they've got 2 full-size fields. No, 3 full-size fields, and it looks like they're building a third, at least whenever this picture was taken from outer space.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a nice compliment. I'm not dinging the Brewers for it by any stretch of the imagination. I give them credit for making those investments. I'm just saying everybody else is starting to catch up, and it should worry every small market baseball team that has been successful that what you're doing is also going to be very replicatable by some other team that is going to go out and spend the same amount of money in that aspect of building talent, as well as acquiring already established major league players like the Dodgers specifically have done.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's where it is going to become important for the guys like Matt Arnold and the talent identifiers in that front office to just be able to identify it better and find guys that other teams aren't finding. Wayne and Nash Vegas texts in, the Brewers need to open a facility in Japan so we can get some of those Japan players that the Dodgers are filled with.
So here's the difference, though.
Yeah.
The difference is Japan, they have an established
pro league.
I was going to say major league, but it's pretty close. It's pretty good. I mean, Ichiro Suzuki came out of there, for example. There have been countless others that have come out of there as well. So they've already developed that. They've already figured that part out. The top major league league is here in the United States. So that's why you got the Dodgers able to write a $50 million check to the Yamamoto's Japanese league team. And that's what they did. Wherever he was. And then on top of that, still pay him a free agent salary, which is extraordinary. So I don't think that they need one in Japan. Maybe there are other places that don't have developed leagues, but Japan has a developed league. But it's a good thought.
And that's all like, the posting system and the professional players being able to come over and then looking across. So, I mean, you can try and set yourself a better footprint over there, but the Dodgers have really strongly secured themselves in Japan and getting those players coming over. I mean, Roki Sasaki coming over last year, and everyone's looking around. Oh yeah, he's looking for potentially a small market team, a place that's good for developing pitching.
No, he's not.
He might want a softer landing spot. It's like, oh, okay,
no, he's not, because
he did cry early in the season, so maybe there was a learning curve. He pitched poorly. He started crying in the dugout. Now he's a relief pitcher. I don't know if this is what he expected.
So what do we know of Japan? I suspect, and I don't want to offend anybody, but what do we know of Japan? We know Tokyo. We know. What else? Give me some more cities.
The 2 cities come to mind are not ones I want to say. But
well, yeah, those two from your World War II history books, right?
Yeah,
those are cities that we know. Osaka, I mean, that's a city in Japan. I mean, that's a major city.
Naomi Osaka.
From a Japan perspective, there's a pretty prominent first baseman who's probably going to be an MLB guy next year, Munetaka Murakami. What do you think the odds are that he's with the Dodgers? I mean,
well, they do have Freddie Freeman. So,
there's a third
I'm sure they'll find a role for him.
Technically, he can play third base as well.
Oh, perfect. He's a Dodger. It's over. It's over.
He's a pretty good player.
Cooked. Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. From my perspective, the Cubs got a couple of Japanese players in that time frame as well, with Suzuki and Shota on the mound. So maybe the Cubs could be in play. But yeah, it sounds like major markets are where these guys want to end up. I mean, name
West
one of them.
Coast.
Right. But name one of them that didn't end up in a major market.
Sure. And that's what I mean when I say that, what do we know of cities in Japan? We know Tokyo. It's got 14 million people. And this is a Google search, so I'm not pulling this off the top of my head. I pulled Osaka because I've heard of Osaka, Japan. It's 2.8 million. Kyoto has 1.5 million. Hiroshima, okay, I know.
Yeah.
You know it from your history books, 1.2 million. Sapporo, 2.9 2.1 million people. Yokohama, 3.8 million people. Kobe, 1.5 million. But because we're ugly Americans, perhaps, we know Tokyo, maybe you know Osaka, maybe you know Kyoto, but you probably can't rattle off the top 10 cities in Tokyo or in Japan. I would say the same thing is probably true over there. They know, I would say if you're someone who's
New
from
York,
Japan,
Los
you know,
Angeles,
New York,
Chicago.
San Francisco has a high Asian population.
Seattle.
Absolutely. Seattle, many of the West Coast, just because of proximity.
Yeah.
I lived in Houston for whatever reason. Houston has a very high Asian population. But Houston's a real, sorry about that.
Yeah, ding that bell for that.
Houston's more of a
You've
melting.
been in
Houston's much more of a melting pot than people give it credit for. But my point is, it's these major markets, Chicago, certainly. You think of Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle. And those are like the cities that have a better opportunity because they're more, I think there's just more familiarity with them than there is Milwaukee or Kansas City or, if Nashville ever becomes a major league city or Tampa Bay or Miami or places like that.
Yeah, it's difficult to get them in. So, I mean, the Brewers did get Nori Aoki back in the day.
Mm-hmm. What was the bidding war for him?
Yeah. So it's difficult. It's not easy.
Was he their first stop?
Aoki? Yeah. The Brewers got him straight out of Japan. So. Then he bounced around the league after that, traded him to Kansas City for Will Smith. No, not the Dodgers, Will Smith, the reliever Will Smith.
And still.
Yeah, it turned out pretty well for the Brewers. But it's the player acquisition part of it, and it's not easy getting the players from Japan. There's only a couple coming over each year, versus Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. I mean, there are a whole bunch of amateur players that you can sign, and the Brewers sign like 30 of them each year. Generally, a small handful are actually good enough to like move up and move on and become legit prospects.
Red Hot Timnot, did you measure the Brewers complex from the base to make sure it's the biggest? Thank you.
I think so.
Thank you. That's well done. That made me laugh. Let's see. Only Phil writes, it's not the size of your baseball complex that matters. It's how you use it that matters, right?
Totally.
Right?
It's
right?
definitely how you use it.
Tim in Oak Creek says, simple solution, 2 leagues. Well, okay. But that defeats the purpose of Major League Baseball, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, they have minor league baseball. It's called minor league baseball.
Yeah, exactly. You got AAA, the International League, the Pacific Coast League. You got all of those.
Famously, there are more than 2 leagues.
Yeah. Yeah, there are several.
Yeah.
Several levels to it, but
we're not going to secede.
Yeah, we already have the movie A League of Their Own. We don't need the Dodgers in an actual, league of their own like that.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. There's a frustration.
I
get it. I feel your frustration as well. So that leads me to the question of, is there a solution for advancing beyond where the Brewers are right now in 2026? I want to hit that coming up straight ahead. The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line is open to you at 877-794-1973. Still to come in this hour, we'll hear from Chris Brooks. Nick Bruswitz had a chance to catch up with him ahead of the Badgers taking on Ohio State. That will be on Saturday. Bruisers Bites coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Jim Polzine from the Wisconsin State Journal. We've got a lot to get to, and we've got a lot of time over the course of the next hour and a half to get to it. And we'd love to hear from you as well. 877-794-1973. It's D.N.D. Doug, Nick, and Dave on the game.
Your heart is more than even, way beyond the shadow of a doubt. Well, I heard it on
Fox on Tech.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman in D.C. making the case that artificial intelligence is already making Americans more productive and that it's essential to democratize it by getting the technology in as many hands as possible. To do that, Altman joined Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision, Michelle Bowman, to talk about the impact of AI on banks and businesses. Altman making the argument that it's not all doom and gloom, but rather that AI will create new jobs that we don't even understand yet.
There are cases where entire classes of jobs will go away. There are entirely new classes of jobs that will come. And largely, I think this will look somewhat like most of history in that the tools people have to use their jobs will let them do more.
OpenAI telling Fox Business they will be opening an office called The Workshop next year in D.C., their first office there. The goal is to expose lawmakers and government teams to artificial intelligence. With Fox on Tech, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to be Wild, which charts at number 2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are number 1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon & Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to number 1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to number 1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number 1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks' song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House. And British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
have a drink, have a drive. Go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970, coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the number 1 rock star in the world had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
D.N.D. on the game, Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper. On 1070 The Game in Madison, the Game Radio Network around the state of Wisconsin, the iHeartRadio app. Perhaps you found the video stream on YouTube, Twitter, X if you prefer, Facebook. Anywhere else?
Nope.
Okay.
Just those 3 spots.
Okay. All right, we'll put it.
Unless someone's illegally streaming us elsewhere, that's the question.
Well, I don't know. It's not illegal though. I mean, everybody's got Listen,
we encourage
we're-
everyone out
we're-
there to take our stream and put it on your platform, no matter where it is.
Absolutely. You know, if you're at Potawatomi Sportsbook and you want to go rogue and just put it up on the giant screens there. By the way, that's where I will be coming up on Sunday, the Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee for Packers game day starting at 11 a.m. So
there we go. You're going to get your mama's pancakes?
Yes, it's an 11 o'clock kick in the Mama's Pancake shop opens up at 11. So
Let's
or
go.
I think it opens up at 10. I'm not sure. Whatever it is.
Either way, you'll have some.
Either way, I'm having some Mama's Pancakes and looking forward to that. And so I know that we've undergone a lot of changes. I understand that. I get that. We share. And by the way, the messages from those of us to those of us who are still here, and honestly, I saw some to Zabe as well on X that have been very kind, and you guys have been very supportive, and it's been just an incredible outpouring of support for us, which is great. And none of us asked for this situation to be put in, and we want to get the shows to you however we can. And I know that right now, if you listened to us on the old 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee, you're having to go through extra hoops to find us, and we appreciate that more than we can even say. It's the effort that you guys have put in to continue to make us part of your day. Just gratitude. That's all I think. I don't want to speak for Dave or Nick. I'll let you guys chime in here in a second as well, but it's just it's been overwhelming to see, really, just the numbers that have been on the stream the last couple of days.
Yeah, it really has been. It's been great to see the support, because I mean, our audience has been fantastic. Always. We love talking with
That's
you
how
guys.
we built the number one station in Milwaukee.
Yeah, exactly. We had the number one station in Milwaukee, and it was because of you guys, and we appreciated all of you guys back then. But especially appreciating you now, going out of your way to find us, knowing how big of a part of your day that we've been. I mean, some of you guys listening all throughout the day, when you're at work, when you're driving in the morning, when you're driving home at night after work is done. It is so greatly appreciated that you guys listen to us all that time, and that you're still trying to find ways to listen to us and get our shows. And I know we appreciate it. Billy and Armin appreciate it. Drew and KB, all of us here. We appreciate all of you guys and what you've done for us, because it's been a family really over these years. And it's just been great to see and interact with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I echo each of your sentiments. As we continue, we keep going. I mean, we're putting on a show regardless of our current status. We're pushing forward, and you can find us somewhere. So any questions about how the best way to do so, of course, direct those to us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. That talking text line is remaining, so you can always reach out there, 877-794-1973. Yeah, I'm young. Dave's young in this industry. It's probably the first time. I can't speak for Dave completely, but it's the first time we're going through something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Doug's been a great coach through this process, been through things like this before. Getting our feet wet in the reality of an industry that can be volatile, pretty much as close to as volatile as any industry. So we appreciate all of you once again.
Without a doubt.
Sticking with us.
But like you said, we are going to continue on doing a show, and the Badgers have, if it could be called defining, I don't know, but certainly a measurement of some sort will be made this weekend as Wisconsin takes on Ohio State. Coming up next, Nick, you had a chance to catch up with redshirt junior wide receiver Chris Brooks, and we'll get his thoughts on the state of the team right now, and as they look forward to taking on the number one Ohio State Buckeyes coming up on Saturday. We'll do that coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, as we mentioned, always open to you at 877-794-1973. It's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave on the game.
I've got a lot of sticks and stones, and a blade that'll cut you to the bone. But if you're doing what you love and it kills you, well, you can live without.
Fox
on Tech.
Apple has new iPhones and other things for you. The Cupertino, California tech giant held its yearly product reveal and promised the world and its devoted customer base it wants to keep to ethos set by its late founder, Steve Jobs, that usable tech must look good, feel good, and work well. For us,
Fox on Tech.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman in D.C. making the case that artificial intelligence is already making Americans more productive and that it's essential to democratize it by getting the technology in as many hands as possible. To do that, Altman joined Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision Michelle Bowman to talk about the impact of AI on banks and businesses. Altman making the argument that it's not all doom and gloom, but rather that AI will create new jobs that we don't even understand yet.
There are cases where entire classes of jobs will go away. There are entirely new classes of jobs that will come. And largely, I think this will look somewhat like most of history in that the tools people have to use their jobs will let them do more.
OpenAI telling Fox Business they will be opening an office called The Workshop next year in D.C., their first office there. The goal is to expose lawmakers and government teams to artificial intelligence. With Fox on Tech, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Fox on Tech.
what did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for U.S. users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Google is bringing about more AI to more people around the world. U.S.-based users of Google's search engine have been seeing a transition to AI mode for their web searching. Instead of lists of websites that may or may not have much to do with your search query, you've been given comprehensive answers, explanations, or steps to take with sources cited. Google is now rolling out AI mode to more people around the world as it begins to deploy and integrate more agentic artificial intelligence features. In what Google hopes will be the near future, Google won't just find you a restaurant, it will book reservations on your behalf. It will also rely on your Google history to make decisions for you, or at least present you with options you'd like. Agentic, meaning agent-like features, will be part of Google AI's Ultra tier, a service costing subscribers $250 a month. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Photo editing used to be the work of highly specialized artists and technicians. Cropping and burning, overexposing and underexposing all occurred in darkrooms using physical means. Nowadays, we click and drag a mouse, or we might even tap, squeeze, or select. As photo editing apps become both more advanced and more accessible to more people, not just photography professionals. But what if you could edit your photo just by asking? Google has that now. Unveiled Wednesday at their Made by Google event, Google Photos will now have a feature in which the user can simply ask the app to perform a desired edit of their image. They can ask by voice or even by typing the request into the prompt. And yes, it's powered by Google's Gemini AI. And no, you don't need a working knowledge of photo terms or techniques. Edit by Asking is debuting across the Pixel 10 series of smartphones. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
What did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for U.S. users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
It's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on the game on this Wednesday, October 15th. We've been talking about the Brewers losing to the Dodgers last night, 5-1, going down 2-0 in the National League Championship Series. Don't forget the last time and the only time that the Brewers were ever a World Series participant, they were down 2-0 in the championship series to a team from Los Angeles, or the Los Angeles area, if you will.
Yeah.
The California Angels, 1982. They lost the first 2 games in Anaheim, then came back. It was a best-of-5 series. Playoffs were different then. And they came back and swept all 3 games in Milwaukee County Stadium to go to the World Series. So is it the same? No. Am I reaching? Maybe.
Is it possible?
But is it
Yes.
possible? Yes, it is possible. Just like that's why they play the games. It is possible that Ohio State, and it's not likely, it is possible that Ohio State is going to lay an egg coming up on Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium against the Badgers, who are going through it right now. But one of the players that is in there going through it is redshirt junior wide receiver Chris Brooks Jr. Nick, you had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week.
Chris, last week was certainly not what you guys expected. Losing like that to that team was definitely not in the plans. But how do you take what you saw that game and build forward with it? Why is this the right group to maybe be able to respond moving forward?
Because it's life. You don't have a choice, really.
Yeah.
Things happen to you, and you just got to keep pushing. So we saw what happened last week. It's obviously not what we wanted, but we know we have a big team coming in here this week, number 1 in the country, and it's just another opportunity for us to go out there and play free and fast and try and go out and, shock the world. So it's more so about just worrying about ourselves, correcting what we did wrong, and not just staying so upset about what happened because it happened. Can't really do anything and change it, but just recognize the opportunity that we do have in front of us and just put our best foot forward.
It's a program that I don't think it really matters if Ohio State is ranked number 1 or ranked at all.
Yeah.
That it means something to play them and to have that opportunity here at home in front of these fans.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you guys have seen what you've done so far, and this would be the biggest chance of all to maybe prove some people wrong.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because it's a great opportunity. Like we said, number 1 in the team in the country. Like you say, regardless if they're ranked or not, it's Ohio State. You want to go out there and compete because that it just shows where you are. And we're tired of underperforming, and we just want to go out there and prove it to ourselves, honestly, and just give everyone something to cheer for. We're tired of having everyone upset with us, and it is what it is, but we just have to go out there and play our game, and that's just something we've been really focusing on, just being and putting our best foot forward, winning our one-on-ones, and if you don't win one, that doesn't mean you lose the game. So it's about putting it behind you, whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's in the past, and just finding a different way to win your one-on-one each and every time you have an opportunity.
You've been a part of this program for a couple of years now, and when you look back, there have been opportunities where you guys have bounced back and done so. There have been opportunities where you haven't been able to accomplish that. But from this group in the few days since Iowa, what have you seen from the guys in the locker room that you feel inspired maybe that you can just get right back on track this week?
Resiliency. We've come in Sunday, we look at it, and we're like, that's not us. And it's not about just saying it's not us, because obviously it's on film and everything. What you put on film is who you are, but we know what we can do, and it's just about when we come in the next day, we're focused. You can see it in our meetings that we had yesterday and the meetings we had today and the practice we had today, just a different attitude. And it's just something that we need to get to translate to the game. But as far as attitude and mindset leading up to it, I've never been worried about that because I can just tell that everyone attacks it like it's their last. And that's something I'm really proud of, regardless of how things go, or regardless of everything you hear. Like, we all can come in and just continue to push and get ready, put our best foot forward.
Your path has included some injuries. Last season, you were working your way back. This year, you're healthy, and we're certainly grateful to see you out there as consistently as we had. But I've spoken to some defensive guys, cornerbacks in particular, who said you're their least favorite to kind of go against because of how physical you can play as a wide receiver. You've been described as the best run blocking wide receiver. You've been kind of tagged with being the physical guy. Do you like that title? Do you feel like that exemplifies how you like to play your game?
I definitely like it because I want to be intimidating, and that's just something I like want surrounding me, to be honest. So it is nice to hear that, but it's all about proving it when the time comes, and I think that's something that I need to continue to get better at. I love hearing it from other people, of course, and I've never said it myself, but so hearing it from other people, I love it. But I just got to continue to prove it in every game, every practice, and that's something that I definitely pride myself on, is being physical, being very good in the run blocking scheme, because I just want to do the most I can to help my team win.
Right.
And honestly, it hasn't worked so far, so it's just finding a different way to even be more impactful in their run block and to be more physical through it all, and just continue to try to be a bright spot for everyone and continue to create an edge on this offense that we desperately need to have. And I think that's something that I myself still need to get better at, even if people say like, yeah, he's physical, he's all this least favorite, but I need more of it just so we can feel it without the offense. I don't want to be I want everyone to look at us like that.
When you look at that wide receiver room, a guy I spoke to a couple of weeks ago who spoke very, very highly of you, Vinny Anthony, he said, that you kind of, what you have been since you got here to where you're at now, he's just proud of the progress you've made and stuff. So when you look at a guy like that, working alongside him, working with him, how do you make each other better? Because he's more than just the speed guy, but that's kind of what he's been great at, is beating the defense over the top. He's grown into being truly an all-down wide receiver. But how do you help each other? How have you grown from one another?
I mean, that's a loaded question. I mean, we've been roommates since freshman year, still living the day. I'm about to go home and see him in the house. So it's just like we've been through this, staying together. We've seen all the ups and downs of Wisconsin, and we've challenged each other to be what the team needs. And that was something I was really proud of him when he got his shot. Just, we didn't have playmakers, and it's just like, when we get our chance, when one of us gets our chance, like, we got to go. And like, he took it and took it and ran with it. And I love that, because it's like we came in wanting to be those people. I mean, we were behind Chem, Skylar Bell, K. Lou. So it's just like, we saw those guys and we're like, oh, we want to take a part of the game and we want to amplify it. And that's just something he's done every day in practice. Just, he does the little basic stuff that goes unnoticed until you notice it. And that's why I've been so proud of him, because he's taken that and just like been really good at it. Just like the ordinary stuff that people don't realize really sets you apart. Like, I mean, his first touchdown was a simple stutter and go, but it's just like, we worked at so much, and he's been working at since freshman year, and that was something he was good at then, and he's only got better at it. So it's been really cool just to see his progression and see him get better, like you said, to an everyday or every down receiver. Because, I mean, he can be that in the NFL. He will be that. So it's just been really cool to watch his progression.
Last one for you. The path to this point in the season has been challenging, right? 2-4. But you guys got 6 games left. And, I mean, the only thing in front of you is an opportunity to prove some people wrong. Does that excite you in a way?
Definitely. Because who doesn't grow up wanting to play the best teams in the country? I mean, it was like that going into week 3. It was like that going into just a few weeks ago at Michigan. Like, in my head, it's like, okay, this is our opportunity to go and shock the world, regardless of what our record is, regardless of what people say outside of here. I really don't care. And that's something I want the offense to embody, because like, we won't get this back like ever again. We won't have the number one team in the country coming into our place to potentially upset them. It's just like, we have so many opportunities. How could you not be excited about that? And it's just something that if it doesn't get you up in the morning to just go out and be great, I don't really know what will. But definitely very excited, just blessed and honored for the opportunity, of course, but I just can't be mad at it at all.
All right, that's Chris Brooks. We'll talk to you next
Now,
time.
a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
I love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. So won't you listen to what the man said? He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, trance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's shaking, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off back in 1923. The New York Yankees win their first World Series, beating the New York Giants 4-2. To date, the Yankees have won the World Series 27 times. The next closest team is the St. Louis Cardinals with 11. This week in 1967, Major League Baseball's American League votes to allow the athletics team to move from Kansas City to Oakland and expand the league to 12 teams in 1971, with teams in Kansas City and Seattle. This week in 1981, LA's Rick Monday hits a 9th-inning home run to give the Dodgers a 2-1 victory over the Montreal Expos and the National League pennant. This week in 1983, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs combined for the fastest 5 goals in NHL history, 84 seconds. This week in 2014, DeMarco Murray becomes the first running back in NFL history to start a season with 7 straight 100-yard games in a 31-21 win over the New York Giants. Murray, with 128 yards and a touchdown, breaks Hall of Famer Jim Brown's 56-year-old record. And this week in 2015, Jalen Watts-Jackson scoops up a flubbed punt attempt and lumbers 38 yards for a touchdown on the final play of the game, giving number 7 Michigan State a shocking 27-23 win over number 12 Michigan at the Big House.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Sing a win now, just for today. Never tomorrow, the good Lord take you away.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on down.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a number 1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a number 1 album and his first number 1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a number 1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to number 1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is in you, but the sun is a place by you.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and
not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record. But it does have some, country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
For money-saving tips that can help put your financial house in order and avoid future financial headaches, call the National Foundation for Credit Counseling today at 1-800-388-2227 or visit them at nfcc.org, a public service from the NFCC.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Every day live from Milwaukee and heard on the iHeart app by fans everywhere. This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee. 97.3 The Game.
Final hour of the show, D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave. 1070 The Game in Madison, the Game Radio Network around the state of Wisconsin on the iHeartRadio app on the video streams. I mean, if you haven't video streamed, you can see what we look like. I don't know if that's, listen, I don't know if that's an incentive. That's an incentive one way or the other.
We got into radio for a reason,
Yeah.
not television.
Yeah.
Our vocals
Absolutely. I don't know. Perhaps not.
Sure, Nick. That's exactly what it
Well,
was.
that's why I did it.
Yeah. It's, if you want to see what three jamokes look like talking radio and talking sports in the state of Wisconsin, feel free to do so. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on or X, whichever you prefer. Facebook and also YouTube. What would they search for, Dave and or Nick?
Oh, well, you can search for, search 97.3 The Game. There are our accounts on those.
That's right.
And it's D.N.D.
Same on the Facebooks there, Nick?
Yeah, same on the
Yeah,
Facebooks.
it's all the same as it stands now. 97.3 The Game. Maybe that becomes The Game and not the number in front of it anymore moving forward. But where we're at, where we stand now, it's still the same socials. You'll still find them there.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got this.
Yeah.
Obviously, there have been a lot of things that have changed, and maybe that 97.3 The Game logo, maybe it becomes like a throwback of a simpler time. Like in Milwaukee, you guys are too young to remember 93 QFM, but it was a legendary radio station in Milwaukee. And anytime you see a 93 QFM t-shirt.
Why did it go down?
Why did we go down, Nick?
Yeah.
Same reason. Somebody had a different idea. Somebody thought that something else was better. Or
idea.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a legendary radio station and it's got that legendary logo. And I hope that, as I said in my Facebook post, that I just hope that she's remembered fondly. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
I hope not. When you think of sports talk radio in the city of Milwaukee, we didn't have a long run, but I think we had a hell of a run. That's right. And it's just one of those things that somebody has a different idea of what the radio station should be. That happens. It's part of the business. It's always been part of the business because sports talk radio wouldn't exist if there wasn't a format flipped to sports talk radio in the first place.
That's right.
So again, I know it's something that you guys haven't lived through yet. And now you can say that you have lived through it, but I'm not ready to say that logo is completely dead. I just think that it's just going to live on in a different way.
Yeah. Kind of on life support.
With nostalgia is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying, is it dead for like the time? Like, is it dead? Yeah, but so are throwback uniforms. I've got a Robin Yount throwback. I've got a Hank Aaron throwback uniform, like a Mitchell and Ness 1957 Hank Aaron. It's just a throwback, is what it is.
Yeah.
Is anything the same that the Milwaukee Braves, who don't exist anymore, do with that uniform? No. Do the Brewers wear those same powder blues that they wore in 82 that I have a 1982 Robin Yount throwback jersey? That isn't even number 19 still in use? No, it's a throwback and it's classic, just like 97.3 The Game will be. It will be a damn classic.
Yeah, it'll be a classic. Be like, man, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you don't know that you're in the good old days, and guess what, boys and girls? You're in the good old days.
Yeah,
right.
We were in the good old days.
Yes. And now we forge a different path forward. But one of the things that still hasn't changed is that at 1:00, we still need to check in with Nick Bruzewitz and Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
That's right. You can't kill Bruiser's Bites. You never can kill Bruiser's Bites. It will live on forever.
Don't challenge the bosses.
Well, I'll do it on my own then. I'll put it out every day. Bruiser's Bites.
Just because, listen, we'll set up a microphone for you and you just, scream it into the ether if you have to.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, one way or another, I'm going to go down with Bruiser's Bites. You know what will never go down as well? Wisconsin Concrete Coatings. Their arrow is pointing up and to the right, and it will continue for as long as people have garages and concrete floors in those garages, because they'll make your garage the nicest in the neighborhood with their polyurea coating, 6 times stronger than your traditional epoxy coating. It's going to make your garage floor look spectacular, slip resistant when wet, skid resistant. It's going to hold up for years and years and years, and you can put whatever design you want on it if you want a design that is. Additionally, they'll help you out and make your garage look like at least a place where a handyman lives with their garage concrete coating cabinetry. And their cabinetry is spectacular. I've seen it myself. A couple of people I know here, sales team, Sean, as I like to call him, he has a fully decked out concrete coated garage with the cabinetry, with the floors, and they can help you out in your basement as well. So check them out, wiconcretecoatings.com.
He can hang out with the rest of the Cubs players watching the playoffs.
His garage is sweet.
Is it really?
His garage is sweet,
Yeah. Okay.
man. You should see this thing. It is spectacular. Full workout facility, a batting tee, everything.
Wow.
You want in your
Oh,
garage.
man.
I mean,
Okay.
he's
You can hang
living
out
that
with Sean
life.
a bit more.
Yeah, he's got everything you need in there, and it wouldn't look good,
Does
honestly,
he have
without the concrete coated floors.
So that's his garage?
It's got TV in there.
Does he put a car in there?
You know what? You got to ask him on that. I know a lot of people who just use their garages as living spaces and just park their cars outside.
I park my car in my garage, but go on. That doesn't mean I don't want it to be nice.
It's important to use the garage for some sort of function. Don't waste it. Don't just use it for storage. So they'll help you out there. They'll make your storage look a lot better, of course, with their cabinetry. wiconcretecoatings.com. Last night, the Brewers fall 5-1, and they had their ace on the mound, Freddie Peralta. People have speculated that there might be 4 aces on the other side for the Dodgers, and Yamamoto certainly showed up. This is what Murph had to say about his guy, Freddie Peralta. 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks.
He was throwing the ball great. He gave up 1 pitch in the 6th. He gave up a homer to Muncy on a 3-2 pitch, missed his spot. But Muncy's got the most home runs in Dodger history in the postseason. So very talented guy that's seen Freddie a bunch. But that wasn't the difference in the game. He went out there and did the job.
Do you guys feel as if Freddie Peralta delivered? Did he do enough for what it was meant for this program, for this team, I should say?
No. He gave up 3 earned runs. I'm not saying he pitched poorly, but did he do enough? No, I wanted him, and I think the Brewers needed him to get deeper into the game. He's a high strikeout guy who only got 4 strikeouts, gave up a couple of home runs. Love Freddie, but did he, to answer your question, if it's a yes or no question, the answer is no.
Yeah, it's got to be a no, because the Brewers, they did not win the game, and Peralta was not able to finish the 6th inning like he set out to do. But you're not going to be able to win if you only score 1 run off of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. You let Yamamoto go complete game on you and doesn't give up a run after the first pitch of the game. It doesn't matter what kind of job Freddie did. I don't think at that point. Like there's not much Freddie could have done outside of having a complete game shutout himself then in order to answer that. So, is that really, I'd love to see it. It would be great if Freddie were able to do that, and that would be getting the job done. But yeah, he didn't get it done in game 2. The Brewers themselves overall just have not gotten it done these first 2 games.
Well, the manager still believes in his group, as he should. This is what Murph had to say about what the team has left in the tank.
You guys might have us counted out, and I understand that. 90% of the teams that have been in this situation don't win the series. But this team has been counted out a lot this year, and I think there's some fight left in them, and it'll be a little tougher path, right, doing it on the road. But we swept the Dodgers early in the year on the road, so at least there's some capability. I know the Dodgers weren't the same team then, but 10 times this year we've won 4 in a row, so that's also a possibility.
Brewers have lost 9 consecutive road games in the postseason. They hadn't been able to play on the road in a long time, having hosted wild card series and not advancing. Do you guys still believe in this group at this point, down 2-0 in the series? Do you think they could still pull this thing off?
I think it'll be really difficult. I mean, is it possible? Sure. That's why they play the games. Do I think they're going to do it? No. But I'm still going to watch the games. I'm still going to hope until that last out. I'm still going to be there. And I think that that's what every Brewers fan needs to do. You need to at least support the team. But if, in a moment of honesty, if you're asking me, do I think that they're going to win this series? No.
Yeah, I think they've made their road incredibly difficult. But also, I'm reminded of the Ted Lasso meme just kind of pointing up. Believe.
Brew lead.
That's right.
Yeah, brew lead.
Brew lead.
That's what we got to do. And I did like the little pep talk that Murph gave there about how this team has been counted out. 90% of the teams in this spot don't win. And but I believe in this group. I know these guys. I know where they've come from, all of this. And I believe, like, I can't explain the feeling, but I just got a feeling they're going to be able to do this. So
I hope he's right.
I do like that. I hope he's right. And I mean, he knows that room is, better than any of us ever will. So, I think that does give me some hope. That does give me some belief that they can at least, try and make a little bit of a run at this. I don't think they're just going to lay down and die, essentially, in these games in Los Angeles. They did have a little bit of a learning curve there in Chicago because for a lot of these young guys that they have on their team, that was their first road playoff environment. And Pat Murphy did say, like, hey, I think, we learned some good things. What a great opportunity. Like, what a great way for us to learn those kinds of things. So hopefully they learned those lessons and can apply them here in games 3, 4, and 5 coming up.
Prove me wrong. That all I will say is I want to be wrong. Prove me wrong, please. But I mean, they have made the road ahead very, very difficult.
Well, the Dodgers have done their part in making it tough on the Brewers, specifically with the starting pitching. 17 innings of 1-run, 4-hit ball through 2 games between Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. This is Dave Roberts on the Dodgers pitching as their strength.
I think if you look at the construction of our roster currently, the strength is starting pitching. And, when you can have your most talented pitchers get the most outs, then you're in a good spot. And right now, all 4 of those guys are in a really good headspace. Physically, they're sound. And, you feel good about those guys starting a game and pushing them, and they're prepared for this.
It's been evident for a while that it feels the Achilles heel for the Dodgers would be the bullpen, but if the bullpen doesn't have to play,
if you don't have to get to the bullpen, then you're okay.
Do they have a weakness outside of the bullpen?
No, I don't think so.
No,
do they?
No. I think bullpen's really the only one, and I mean that lineup from 1 to 9 is just insane. But yeah, I would hope that that rotation for them would be, pretty talented and good and getting the most outs for you when you're paying them all $1 billion combined.
Yeah.
They're going to be really talented and really good. You're paying them $1 billion for a reason.
Yeah. The biggest hope for the Brewers is that they all oversleep and get caught in traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, the Uber takes him to the wrong ballpark. The Uber takes him to Anaheim.
Yes, because Anaheim is a long ways away from Dodger Stadium, and it'll take him a couple hours to get back.
Yeah, getting stuck on the 101,
especially in traffic. Yeah.
I
think this is a good strategy.
Yeah,
I like where your head's at.
We got to go be Uber drivers in Los Angeles and just somehow pick up Freddie Freeman and just drive him out to Anaheim.
Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Shohei and Tyler Glasnow and
Will
Smith and Max Muncy and Teoscar Hernandez and
all of them. Just a couple of statistical anomalies, I guess I should say, to this point in the series. The Brewers 5 for 58 at the plate, 2 runs, 5 hits. They've had 1 at bat with runners in scoring position, batting .086. That is overall. And then Adam McCalvey has this piece. That one came from Just Baseball, an X account. This one from McCalvey. Instances of 2 or fewer at bats with runners in scoring position over a 2-game span in a single postseason. Brewers 1 at bat, 2025. Last time it happened, 2 at bats, Cleveland in 2018. It's only happened 7 total times ever. Historically bad start. Attribute it to a historically good start potentially for these starters. But yikes, as bad as they can get. So,
and that's the thing about Snell. I mean, Snell and Yamamoto, they were both, I mean, pick on something. Yeah. They were locating, they had command. I don't know that the Brewers took bad at bats. In fact, I think they squared up a couple of balls and hit them hard. They just hit them right at guys, and that's going to happen. That's just part of baseball. But when they are, whether it's Snell or Yamamoto, whether they're missing bats like they did in the first couple of games as well, that percentage goes down when you do barrel it up, that you're not going to find, some leather. You're going to find, grass or, put it over the wall. So, I mean, you got to give some credit where credit is due. Those pitchers have been so good and their track record is so amazing that, yeah, you can say that the Brewers have struggled 100%. Most teams would, most lineups would against these guys.
Yeah. I don't think it matters what lineup you're trotting out there. The way that those guys were pitching, the way that Yamamoto's splitter was tunneling with his heater. It doesn't matter who you have. And also it doesn't matter what reinforcements you got at the deadline. Getting a Eugenio Suarez or having a Cal Raleigh or having a Josh Naylor, having any of those guys, I don't think would have changed the outcome in these games. Now, some may want to look back and look around and be like, oh, well, if the Brewers had gotten more offense at the deadline, maybe that could have changed some things. I really don't think it matters what batter you're putting in the box against those two guys. The way that they were pitching in games 1 and 2, anyone was going down, whether it was Caleb Durbin or whether it was Eugenio Suarez, they were not going to have much success.
No doubt about it, guys. It's been quite the start to the series, no doubt. I've been trying to pull this up real quick. I wanted to compare notes here between things that have been said this week in front of the media from a couple of NFC North teams. We'll start with this one. This one's Jamar Chase. He said, quote, "We know the Steelers are going to come in and try to raw dog us and kill us.
Okay.
But
Pause.
we will be ready for that challenge.
As one does.
We're waiting for it." Okay, take that one.
Okay.
Now take what Dylan Gabriel said today when asked about recovering from getting his butt whooped by the Steelers. He said, quote, "My mom used to beat my ass when I was a kid. It's part of football." Okay, which one's more egregious, raw dogging or your mom beat your ass?
Well, I mean, raw dogging has taken on a different term in the last
different connotation
year and a half or so, because I mean, we all know what the original raw dogging was, and it's not something that you can say on a family radio station. I mean, you can say it in technical terms, I suppose, but it has come to be known as a way of going on an airplane and not having headphones or any kind of electronical device in front of you, just staring blankly into the ether.
That's exactly what we're all thinking.
But no, that's the newest definition. That's how it's changed.
Totally.
A brand new definition of that. But Jamar, I don't know if he's using it in either connotation that we know it to be.
So that's why I'm saying it's changed. So we're not sure exactly what the connotation is. So Dylan Gabriel talking about his mom beating his ass. I mean, it's probably the more egregious of the two, because it makes his mother out to be somebody who beats her child.
Yeah.
Well, did he deserve it? I mean, these
got
are
in trouble a whole lot as a kid.
No, I mean, listen, when I was a kid, it was your parents could still get away with that. You can't anymore, because then the authorities will be called. Listen, times have changed, and sometimes you could always look back wistfully at the olden days and how much better the olden days were in your own mind. Because when I was a kid, if you were riding your bike and you put a helmet on, you'd get the crap kicked out of you for that. So again, times have changed. So I would probably say Dylan Gabriel's statement probably carries a little bit more negative connotation to it, because again, it's 2025, not 1986.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave, where do you fall on this one?
I think it's got to be the raw dogging one. It's like, dude, come on. I mean, you know exactly what you're trying to put out there in everyone's minds, and no one needs it. Like Dylan Gabriel's like, oh yeah, my mom used to like that. That's just kind of a certain parenting
before,
style.
Okay, my mom.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's totally the same, but
we do it in broadcasting though too. We do it in the media. There's a term that we use for a group interview that I'm not going to say on the radio, but it's a common term.
GB.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a very common term, and everybody knows what you're talking about. But if you say it on the radio, people are going to say, "You said what?"
Whoa.
I was like, oh, it's just
button.
It's just radio.
Dave, hit the dump button.
It's media vernacular for a group interview at a player's locker.
Wow.
Like you're talking to Tucker Kraft. That's what it's called. But I can't say it on the radio.
You can't say it. Don't say it.
Can't say it. Don't say it. But I can say it off the air all the time because that's just what we do.
My vote is they're going to try and raw dog and kill us. I'm down with that as being the more egregious thing said.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I did grow up in a one-parent household, so mom had to be the disciplinary parent. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
We've all
It's
been
gotta
there
be.
one way or another, I'm sure.
We know you were getting in trouble a lot.
Did you ride a bike with a helmet? See, in my days, you would have gotten your ass kicked.
I did sometimes.
Knee pads too?
Depending.
Elbow pads?
Elbow pads?
Never that.
Okay.
I did have the helmet, I think.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
I think.
That
means he definitely didn't have one if he
We'll
can't
end with
remember.
when she was watching, I had it on, okay? When I was close enough for her to see me. We'll end with a couple of quick ones here. First and foremost, we heard Matt LaFleur at the podium earlier today. I thought it was notable how little he gave on injury updates. But of this group, Marshawn Lloyd, Wyatt on the defensive line, and Christian Watson, which one do you think has the most value when they're back? Or maybe who's hurting not to have them?
I really like Christian Watson when he's back. I think that, I've been saying this for 3 years. I think he could be special. And,
Nice.
and if he figures out the hands thing, he can take the top off the defense. So he's got the speed. He's got the size that's rare, so he can high point balls. He's got the smarts. Matt LaFleur just raves about him. It just seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. He's just got to do two things: stay on the field and catch the ball. And I think he could be an incredible weapon for Jordan Love.
Yeah, Christian Watson, getting him back. I mean, what it'll do for that offense, because we've seen this offense leave some meat on the bone here. So getting him back and getting healthier on that front, I think it's going to be crucial.
And we'll end with this. This is Luke Fickell talking about his message to the fans.
They got to be just like us. Every game's a new game, and I know it's frustrating. I know it's disappointing. I don't blame you, but the truth of the matter is Saturday is Saturday, and we need our guys' best effort. We need our coaches' best effort, and we need the people's best effort too. And regardless if they're frustrated or not, there's got to be a belief in the things that they're doing. They can be mad at me. That's fine. Don't be mad at those kids, and those kids need them. They need to feel that support. They need to see that support.
I see your face, Doug. Right or wrong message? You think he's conveying the right message to the fans right now? Hey, you guys need to move on and deal with it. This is a new game. This is a new opportunity.
I think he's saying what he needs to say pregame. And if the Badgers put forth, a good effort, I mean, I think they played a really good first half against Michigan, for example. I mean, the effort was there. You saw the effort that was there. But after they got absolutely curb stomped by Iowa, I think that message is difficult for some fans to hear. Now, I don't expect fans to boo the team when they come out of the tunnel before there's, a single tick off the clock or a single point that's been scored. But if they're down big at halftime, they're going to hear it. And that's just part of, and what college athletics has become is professional athletics. And if you're going to be accepting paychecks like a lot of these guys are, you're going to be expected to perform as a professional. And part of professional athletics is you have to deal with the unhappy paying customers who are going to be in the stadium. And yeah, so will that manifest itself as the players getting booed? Yeah, but it's also a damning indictment of the state of where the football program has been the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's only so much Fickell can say to the media at this point, because the only thing that he can say that will really actually get the fan base to be happy is getting a win. That is the only thing that he can say that'll make him happy, because I mean, there are things that he can say that'll make things worse. So I mean, he's doing what he can in terms of just giving answers to questions, but the only way to make everyone happy is to actually start winning games here and getting wins. So I don't think it's likely that we see that this week, but yeah, he hears the fire Fickell chants. There's no way he can't. I mean, he knows what the fan base is after, and they're after his job. I mean, what's he supposed to say?
Listen, and when you're making $7 million a year, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I mean, you weren't given a check for $7 million a year and signed a multi-year contract that pays what he's being paid to come in there and not win a Big Ten game in a year.
Yeah, especially when he comes in, he says we're going to be playing for championships.
I don't care who I don't give a crap who your quarterback is. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that they've been beset by bad luck. I understand that, but you haven't won a conference game in a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how else to spin that.
Yeah. And even their non-conference games were like, I mean, Miami, Ohio, it's like, yeah, that's a little closer than maybe it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, a 3-0 halftime score definitely wasn't the right foot to start out on this year. I mean, he has to make some sort of answer to that question. I don't know if there's a right answer. Hey, what do you say to the fans that are currently
There's nothing he can
chanting for you to be
say.
fired?
There's
But-
nothing he can say that'll calm down the fans.
No.
But I don't know if he needed to fully extrapolate out as far as he did there. Like, just say, hang with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
And instead
Yeah.
he said, you kind of told him what to do. And a little
Yeah.
bit of
Good
a-
Lord
I don't
willing,
know.
we'll win a few ball games.
Coming up next, we'll spin through the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Keep them coming, 877-794-1973. Tim in Oak Creek says the Brewers aces, maybe the Dodgers number 5. That's your problem. Well, we'll hit that coming up.
Yeah.
On the other side, also Jim Polzine from the Wisconsin State Journal. He's set to join us at around 1:35 as well. So stay with us. Still more to come here on D&D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their 5th album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores a number 1 single, Give Me Love, from the number 1 album Living in the Material World. And Chicago's 6th album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the Band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Dwayne Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their 3rd album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
Our love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. So won't you listen to what the man said? He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' fourth album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1975, coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean of Journey to ask if they would welcome Steve Perry back should the opportunity arise.
You know, Steve obviously contributed a lot, like we all did, and created everything that we are carrying on. But, you know, this is an active band. We are still very active, and I'm all good with it. Like I've always said before in the past, Steve is always welcome to come and jam anytime he wants. The door is open. Just walk on stage and sing with us.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Neil Sean and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Okay, so the movie was crap, but it gave us a huge song from Seal. 1995's Batman Forever was a laughable, but Kiss from a Rose was the song we all needed.
I can bring you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, stranger it feels, yeah.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Game Radio Network, D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper coming up in just a few minutes from the Wisconsin State Journal. Jim Polzine will join us. Saw him at American Family Field. He covers everything. That's why we like having him on, because he covers everything.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Including the Badgers, of course, who got Ohio State, including the Brewers, who are down 0-2 against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Championship Series, and the Green Bay Packers. They've got a road game at Arizona against the Cardinals. Spinning through the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line, Phil and Merrimack writes, we aren't mad at the kids, but bye-bye Fickle. Okay. Mike from Merrill. So we were talking about how Luke Fickle is saying everything that he can possibly say, and you can't get mad at him for saying what he can say. Mike from Merrill writes, or he could say, I'm resigning. That would make many people happy as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to do that.
I'm just reading without comment.
Oh, yes.
Spinning through the talk and text line.
What if he said, I'm resigning for another 5 years? I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, like Leo DiCaprio and Wolf of Wall Street, something like that.
Mike Gundy famously said that he wasn't going anywhere, and he was fired the next day.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Mailman Jeff in Madison writes, if you guys have any Iron Jock gear with the 97.3 The Game logo on it that you don't want to be willing to give it a home, I don't know. I got to look.
I don't have any Iron Jock gear.
It's not a no. It's I don't know. I need to go look. I need to go do some snooping around.
See if we have any hanging around the
I don't know
office.
that we have any clothes per se.
We got banners.
Got
plenty of that. Do you want the one right behind Doug's shoulder here?
The banner or yours. I mean, we got banners in the studio here that's, that probably need to be taken down at some point, but
It's what's inside.
I'm not going to do it right now. There's the Iron Jock banner, and then there's the 97.3 The Game banner over there.
Yeah, I might take that one home with me. Put that in my future home studio. Who knows?
I already have one up in mine, and I'm like, this is going to be great. I have a backdrop now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Womp, womp.
Womp, womp. Let's see. Unnamed in the 414. Let's see. Guys, the extra effort to listen is well worth it. Thanks for getting me through the day. The only way you could be better is if Nick could come to his senses and become a Brewers and Packers fan.
There we go.
And I responded.
Dang.
I'm like 90% a Packers fan. Like my whole family, they're all Packers fans. So I root hard.
So then there's next week. Not this week.
That's what I'm
Then
saying.
there's next week.
Yeah.
Next week, I will be rooting for a great game where the Steelers win and everything the Packers are looking to accomplish on one side of the ball takes place, but the other side is not good enough, and it's a close battle, and everyone's healthy. That's what I'm rooting for.
Eric in Sun
I just
Prairie.
hope both teams have fun.
Eric and Sunbury is asking if we're moving to a new station away from 1070. Not to my knowledge, but
no.
Then again, if you
1070 will remain.
If you asked me a week ago, I would have said, "Oh, we're going to be on 97.3 for a while." And sometimes the folks that don't live here and live somewhere else and have different responsibilities than we do, but they are overlords, have different ideas, and that's what has happened here. So here's what I do know. That for the foreseeable future, we will be still in Madison on 1070 The Game. That's where you can find us. If you're searching on the iHeartRadio app, you can search for 1070 The Game in Madison. It's call letters or WTSO. Sometimes that can take you to there as well. And all of the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday shows that you have been listening to all along, either in Milwaukee on 97.3 The Game or on 1070 The Game or throughout the state on the Game Radio Network. That's where we will live. That's what
all
I can tell
along
you.
since last Wednesday.
Well, yeah.
All the shows you've been listening
all the shows since a week ago that you've been listening to, all of them
we're on.
We'll be living over there. If you're looking for some of the other ones, I listen, the guys that we had to say goodbye to, they're not done with broadcasting. They will resurface at some point, and I'm sure they're formulating their plans right now.
Oh yeah, as
they should be. And you know what? When they do, you know who's going to be their first listener and their first subscriber? Me.
Yeah, I'm going to be the second.
There you go. So we will look forward to all of that because good things for everyone are coming up, including you if you're staying with us, because Jim Polzine from the Wisconsin State Journal is coming up straight ahead as well. Stay with us. Doug, Nick, and Dave. We call ourselves D.N.D. Here on The Game.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
The best-selling soundtrack in history comes from 1992's The Bodyguard. One song that stands apart from the rest is, of course, I Will Always Love You. Originally written and performed by Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston took the song and made it one of the most iconic songs of all time.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
He played my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, flipper fingers, never seen him fall. That gift of a black kid sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you'll see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, play across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with #1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to #1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968 coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and release the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to #1 in both the US and the UK. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album, Toulouse Street, with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of '72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a #5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoople get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at #3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972 coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to get a feel for when it all began for him musically.
I was about 10 years old. I was given a Spanish guitar for Christmas. And so, I wanted a drum kit, but I ended up getting a Spanish guitar. And I guess things sort of just turned around from then.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like
Well, it was
it's your
Dave's birthday the other day, but it's not Dave's birthday
was
anymore.
Saturday. No, not anymore. It was a fun birthday, though.
Sure, you got to celebrate it with 42,000 of your closest fans and friends at American Family Field.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to get sprayed with champagne and
That's every
beer.
birthday, though. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's true. You know me, party animal over here. But it's fun when someone else is doing the spraying of the champagne.
Sure. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper here on the Game Radio Network. One final segment to go. And for that, we turn things over, to a certain extent, to the Wisconsin State Journal's outstanding columnist, Jim Polzine, kind enough to spend some time with us here on the game. Jim, appreciate the time very much. Let's talk about the Brewers. We've been trying to kind of find a path for them to make it to the place where they haven't been since 1982. Seems really daunting when you come up against those two pitching performances that they've seen the last couple of nights.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers starting pitchers have made the Brewers look completely unlike the team we saw for, 162 plus games. They just, this is a team that's built on contact and swinging at good pitches and getting on base and kind of creating chaos and putting pressure on the opponent. And we just have seen none of that. And I do think a lot of it has to do with just the way that LA has pitched. It's kind of funny. Andrew Friedman, the director of baseball operations, whatever his title is, was talking about Shohei Ohtani hitting against Philadelphia and how it was more a matter of Philly executing pitches, right? Like having a plan and executing that plan perfectly. And once you do that, it's already really hard to hit. And then once you execute flawlessly, it becomes nearly impossible to hit. And I think that's exactly what's happened the last 2 days. Is that LA has come in with a plan and they have executed it perfectly with two really, really high-end pitchers. And it's made the Brewers look completely out of character.
Jim, there's oftentimes, an old cliche that like young teams have to go through it to then come out the other side. And this is the first experience for most of their team in a postseason at which they played road games and they lose both at Wrigley. Now they're going to be asked with trying to win 2 of 3 on the road at LA. Do you think that factors into it, the lack of experience playing in a hostile road environment in the playoffs?
Maybe a little bit. And I guess if you want to cling on to that the experience down at Wrigley will help them, right? Like they're nothing that they're going to see out in LA will be any different, or I just think that was such a great atmosphere down there that I think it would help them, right? I think the other side of this is that we have to remember this is an LA team that has a payroll of $350 million and is clicking at the right time, right? Like they dealt with some injuries. I think they kind of sleepwalked at times through the regular season. And starting right around the first week of September, they have just started clicking. A lot of that has to do with starting pitching, but when you combine what they have in terms of starting pitching with some of these veteran bats and guys that have been through all this before, it's a tough competition. I think anybody realistically would admit it before this series started that if LA plays at its best, the Brewers probably don't have a chance, even if they play at their best. And I think that's what's happening. Like, I don't know that Milwaukee's playing all that bad. I just think the Dodgers are peaking at the right time, and it's kind of turned into a freight train. And I don't know that any level of experience is going to matter, because when you compare rosters, LA's is just better, and frankly, it's a lot better in some key areas.
Yeah, and the experience is certainly it's a key part of it. But then for the Brewers, one of the guys that they have with the most experience, Christian Yelich, he's 0 for his last 17. I mean, his at bats look rough. What do you need to see from Yelich here to maybe make some changes to get things going?
Yeah, he just kind of looks like he's pressing. I think that's what happens too, is that, you get deep in games and that bats mean more, and you start to press. And when you've gone 4 or 5 straight games with just not hitting or seeing the ball well, it just ratchets up the nerves. Even if you're a guy like Christian Yelich that has been through this, right? Like Nick was asking about some of these young guys being through it for the first time. Well, Yelich can't use that excuse. He's been through this. He should be the one that isn't daunted in moments like this. So, it would be huge if in Game 3, there's the guy that kind of sets the tone. I think he's a guy that sets the tone in the clubhouse with just the way he handles himself. Probably need to see that on the field just to get this team sparked, because Doug led off with this path to kind of getting it back to Milwaukee, and it really starts in Game 3. If you go out there and hit Glass now, who's not, he's been hit before, it's possible, and you go out and win that game, suddenly the outlook looks much different. And then if you can get one of the next 2, you do get it back to Milwaukee, and you at least have a chance. But it doesn't happen if you can't get Game 3. Like, you have to win Game 3.
Jim Polzin from the Wisconsin State Journal joining us here on the Game Radio Network. I want to change gears and talk about the Wisconsin Badgers football team. Another happy thing to talk about right now.
Speaking of bad offense,
they haven't won a conference game in a year. They've got Ohio State coming into Camp Randall on Saturday. I've asked this question a lot of many of our guests over the last week or so, so I'll pose it to you. They've dug themselves as a program into a pretty deep hole. Outside of just money, do you see a path out that I'm not seeing right now?
It's hard to see that path. I mean, I've kind of taken this in increments along the way, and it's funny. I wrote something back in July, basically. I don't know if I was requesting or just kind of pointing out to the Fire Fickle people, because they were already around. After
oh, sure. Oh, yeah, they were.
Fire Fickle people, right? And my point was, have a little patience, and coaches deserve 4 years, right? Because they get their recruiting class, they're good recruiting classes, at least to be upperclassmen, and then we can kind of, get a gauge on where he's at. But I wrote that not expecting it to be a complete dumpster fire, right? Like, I wrote that not expecting a home loss to Maryland. I wrote that not expecting 37-0 home loss to Iowa. Like, it's become harder and harder to believe and kind of harder and harder to see a path out of it. I don't know. Sure, you can throw money. You can use NIL as an excuse, but NIL is not an excuse for losing 37-0 at home to Iowa. Iowa's not so much ahead of Wisconsin in the NIL world that should happen. So it becomes really hard to see a path to back to even respectability. So no, I mean, I hate to be Debbie Downer here, but I don't see one. I have not written anything saying Luke Fickell should be fired, but I've also made it very clear that my confidence level in this working is keeps getting lower and lower by the week. And I don't see a path to him keeping his job. I think right now it's just a matter of when and not if.
Jim, to transition maybe to a more hopeful football team, the Packers are currently in first place in their division as it stands now, with a loss by the Lions and a win over the Bengals 27-18 at Lambeau this past Sunday. Performances on the road so far this season have not been good. Whether it's the offense or the defense, one side has found a way to just not show up. This weekend, they go to Arizona to play a team that might be starting a backup quarterback. What do you think we can learn about the Packers on Sunday at State Farm Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, you have the big thing, Nick, is I think the one thing we haven't seen, even last week at home against Cincinnati, is, they always talk about complementary football. And we've seen times where this offense kind of looks capable of what we think it could be. And we've seen this defense be dominant. And very rarely, especially the last 2 weeks, has that happened at the same time. And it didn't happen against Cincinnati. I thought the defense played really well in the first half and then could not get off the field in the second half. I thought, the offense, overall the offense was pretty good, but it had its moments where it, kind of needs to have that killer instinct and finish off drives and didn't. So that's what I'd like to see out in Arizona, kind of a complete performance, because I think really it's been since those first two games that we've seen that. I think this team is capable of being really, really good. The deeper it gets in the season, I think you want to see that more. And obviously understanding that you want to play the best football in December and January. And if that happens, then nobody cares what happens in mid-October. But I think if you're a fan, you kind of just want to see more consistency and more extended moments of this team being excellent on both sides of the ball, because I think we've only seen flashes so far.
Yeah, and one way, Jim, to maybe see kind of improvements on one of the sides of the ball is Christian Watson, getting him back for this offense. Just kind of what's your sense of where he's at in his practice window coming back in, and what he can bring to this offense once he does return?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be careful with him, which they should, right? I mean, you don't want to rush him back and have another setback. That would be brutal for him. It'd be brutal for the team. I think the idea is to get him, up to speed and feeling good at the end of the season when you really need him. And we've seen it over the years. A healthy Christian Watson is a difference maker, just from a speed standpoint, stretching the field, getting some ball in different creative ways. I think he'd just be a really good complement for a receiver group that is pretty good already, but could use one more body and one more difference maker just to kind of make that group even more whole. So I think you probably take some caution in how you do this, because you don't want to rush him back. But I think there's optimism that he's going to be a guy that plays at some point and plays well. And I think they are hopeful of that.
Jim, we appreciate the time so much. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, you too. There goes Jim Polzin, outstanding columnist for the Wisconsin State Journal, joining us here as we close up shop for this Wednesday, October 15th on D.N.D. Doug, Nick, and Dave. So, I think we covered a lot of ground today, boys.
Yeah.
One thing that we did not cover was the fashion show at American Family Field that Pat Murphy asked of our own Dave Gasper. Can you explain this? Dave?
Yeah. So during game one, during the pregame stuff, Jack Stern, another fantastic Brewers writer, showed up in a sport coat, like all dressed up, super nice.
As one does.
And so Murph, made him kind of stand up and just kind of show off to everyone. It's like, oh, wow, Jack, never seen you dressed up like that before. And then ahead of game two, as we're sitting in there for his pregame press conference, Jack's a little bit more dressed down for game two. And me, I was a bit more dressed up, had the shirt and tie and all that. And so he points out Jack, dressing down a little bit. And I'm sitting basically like right next to him. I'm just like, it's like, Murph, I got the shirt and tie on. I'm dressed up. He's like, yeah, you are. Look at you. Stand up. Just Murph just tells me to stand up. I'm like, oh, sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Cool. Great. And then like I sit back down, like think we're moving on. And he's like, no, stand up. Like stay standing. Do a twirl. I'm like, you really need me to twirl? He's like, yeah. It's like, do a twirl. Spin around. Show it off. I'm like, okay, fine. I spin around. Just kind of, showed off.
Sometimes you got to do a little twirl.
Yeah.
You got to give the fans what they want.
Yeah. You got to do the twirl. But yeah, like my shirt was like a little bit like untucked on the sides.
See,
it's a little bit, the shirt's not quite long enough there because I am 6'8". So he made fun of me for that. And I'm like, hey man, I'm doing what I can.
When was the last time you wore a full suit?
A wedding that I went to. So
Nick, have you been to a wedding yet?
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1971.
The Doors released their 6th and final studio album, L.A. Woman, while Paul McCartney releases his 2nd solo album, Ram, which goes to #1 UK and #2 US. The album includes several jibes at John Lennon and the #1 single, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey.